Hey friends, this is Speaking Line, and you're listening to DLC Required, a podcast where gamers talk about gaming and whatever gamers talk about. This week we have Ultimate Gamer, JoltzDude139. If you don't know Joltz, he is a massive presence in the Borderlands community, coming on to talk about Borderlands, BL4, and a bunch of other garbage I somehow got him to talk about. Joined also by our good friend of DLC Required, LilGasMask. Twitch partner, Borderlands fanatic, absolute madman who does an insane amount of challenge runs that make you question your faith in humanity. And also just your sanity. They're honestly fantastic and bro it the hell out. So let's get to it. I meant to pick up energy drinks and I like for 3 days, I've been like, you are barely functioning. My Adderall's been out of stock for so long. And I actually think it's the longest I've gone unintentionally without caffeine, and my body may be breaking. Like, I don't know how people do it. I feel like there's just no default state. Like I've been the kind of person that I annoy myself with it, but like if I drink caffeine, coffee, whatever, energy drink before bed, I can just go to sleep. If I take like Excedrin or something, that's a harder thing for me, like that kind of caffeine. But any liquid caffeine, I'm absolutely still just falling asleep on, and I think I fucked up my own body with it.
Crazy how it works just backwards for us.
It does. ADHD, man, is a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. It's calming though, and it helps my brain function, so I appreciate it. But no, I haven't had it on stream, and I don't even know how long, and I feel it. I absolutely feel it.
Since middle school, like it was like soda and like a lot of soda, then energy drinks, Monster, Rockstar, Red Bull, and then like I'm still doing it today. Like I'm definitely toned back from what I did way back then, doing like 4 cans a day.
Oh yeah.
But I'll still do 1 or 2 a day.
3 cans of Monster, and I was like, yeah, this has got to stop. I need to cut it back.
My favorite thing is when McWaggle's like trivia video that like tortured us or whatever, people will come in and like ask about it. They're like, I had no idea Gas had so much Monster in his room. Like they're always blown away by your background.
Oh my gosh. Because I got all the cans in the back.
Or you're not sponsored by them, are you? Because you should be.
No.
I think you need to take that swing as a online marketer. I think your brand is already associated with it.
I don't know. They took my favorite flavor away. So
which one was your favorite?
Nitrous oxide.
Nitrous, dude, that one was good.
It did slap. It did slap.
Oh my gosh, those are so nostalgic.
Yeah,
they ruined.
Yeah,
they ruined the assault flavor. They did a like whole can redesign. It tastes like RC Cola now. I'm like,
but we still have Aussie Lemonade and we have Pacific Punch, so I'm fine. Like Aussie Lemonade, the mango one's fine too, but the staples are there for me.
Ever since they stopped selling that nitrous oxide in bulk, I just stopped buying it, and then I just switched to Red Bull.
Are you a classic Red Bull guy?
No, the original just doesn't taste good to me.
I think it tastes too much like vodka for me. Like
I don't know what it is. It has to be flavored in some other way.
Yeah, I like their weird coconut berry ones, like the white can stuff, like all the weird seasonal ones. Are usually pretty good, but no, I tend to go for the sugar-free more than the normal one if it's just base Red Bull. But I won't complain at like cons and stuff like PAX where they just have the Red Bull girls just handing out cans as you walk by. Absolutely, we'll take anything. Do not care. Do not care. Free energy drink is the best energy drink.
Oh, for sure.
I'm surprised Borderlands hasn't had one. Yeah, go for it.
Is the Monster logo actually Hebrew for 666, or is that coincidence?
I think that's coincidence. I think what they were going for is like a monster claw mark that also shows like an M.
Yeah, I
think people just go crazy when they see
the internet
faces in the clouds.
666. Yeah.
I mean, you say this with 666 in your name. Aren't you having an issue right now with YouTube with getting your trophy with it?
Right.
The last 2 days, I have taken all the 666s out of my names.
Oh my god, new era. I don't know what to do with that.
Not even a big deal.
Yeah, but the YouTube silver button wasn't letting me get it because they seen like the 666 as profanity, and the automatic profanity filter was not.
How is that profanity?
Like, I don't know. It's not the first thing. I've had to change it to like 6666 on like Ubisoft for my Ubisoft name because that was doing it. But it's not a big deal. I just got like partner on Twitch and they let me to.
Oh my god! Congrats! What the fuck, dude? I didn't notice that.
Wait, I thought you were already partnered.
No, I got it like the right before I started the subathon. I think I got the email So I
Bro,
think it
what
was
the
like
fuck?
Saturday.
How have I not clocked that? I've had you up in the background.
Dude, I swear
Yeah.
you were partnered like forever ago.
He should have been. He
No,
should have
no.
been for sure.
This is my second. It was my second try applying. The first time didn't go through, but
well, they love
I
denying
did this
people the
time,
first time.
and they let me take that name from the account that's been dead for 3 years. So I was like, well, I didn't want the number on there in the first place. I just put it there because I was mad it was taken. I was feeling edgy about it, but so
Feeling edgy
yeah.
is a
So I've
good
been
description.
removing all the names, but it's really funny the YouTube comments you get when you just have like a number in your name. It'll be like, I like the content and everything, but I can't subscribe to you because of the number in your name. It's not very cool. And I'm like, okay, first off,
What the fuck?
you know what Borderlands is about, right? Like, in
No,
this
people
video,
don't.
I'm like,
People don't know what
shooting
Borderlands is
mentally
about.
ill people
Killing
in
the
the
innocent.
face.
Yeah.
We're literally
Killing
taking
the
homeless
innocent,
people
yeah.
out of their encampment and killing them for their stuff. That is the plot.
Yeah.
That is what we are doing.
And the number is what got you. It's interesting. Like, I'm not gonna be like, be like, it's just a number because, like, I guess it has like some like satanic things, but like, I don't
But
know.
it's just-
I just feel like the weird pick and choosing is very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm assuming like you picked that number a long time ago because you thought it was cool. Like people did like 420.
I was
at the end of their
probably in
name.
like high school. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
GasMask
probably in
42069 kind of thing. Yeah.
But like 6 is like just my lucky number, and like I like the Binding of Isaac. I was like super into it probably when I made my
dude.
name. So
1,000+ hours. Love that game.
yeah,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. How many hours do you have to have in a game when people tell you like they're into it to like mentally be like, okay, yeah, you get it? Because like I feel so bad with gatekeeping about it because I'm always just like, in perspective, when people are like, I only have like 200 hours in this game, I'm like, the game's built for 15 hours, like you're killing it. But then other time I will have people with their full chest tell me like, oh my god, I'm so obsessed with that game, I have like 78 hours, and I'm like, oh, do I need psychological help? Like, what am I doing?
Right.
I think it depends on the game, really. Like, if you had 100 hours in Minesweeper, you're probably an expert now. But like 100 hours in Skyrim, you don't know nothing yet.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even finish, like, I think it was Persona 5, where I was like, how am I not done with this game yet? And I looked it up, and it's the longest game in history with, like, 150 or whatever hours. Someone will correct me in that.
I remember seeing
like,
a speed run listed on, like, 100+ hours speed run. That's insane.
yeah,
Oh
no,
my
absolute
God.
batshit. I can't, I don't have that attention span. I can't do it. Like, but yeah, I'll notice in, like, Baldur's Gate or something that I'm playing where I will like be, oh, I'm 50 hours in and I just got to Act 3, and then other people will be like, I'm 130 hours in and I haven't even left Act 1 yet. I'm like, oh, I'm not playing this game correctly.
First playthrough was like 180 hours.
Hell yeah. No, that's about where
Oh
I'm at
my
the point.
God.
Like, it just
We side question.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I actually side quest in that game. I'm not allergic to them like I am in Borderlands 2. But that's about it. I think that might be the only game I side quest well in. Pre-sequel I side quest well in. Maybe.
You kind of have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to
I
say.
think the pre-sequel, it feels more narratively relevant, so my brain lets me, and they're not like a ton of run here, run back missions in the same way.
I think the thing about pre-sequel side missions is some of them are just so goofy.
they are. They don't
quick,
take itself seriously.
Yeah.
Like getting the rage dude to like ran at you, kind of like it's fun. And that's fine.
Mhm.
Versus this is like Borderlands 3, where I'm like, okay, I can knock out these side quests. I'm like, if I have to listen to Typhon talk to me one more time, I'm gonna stab myself in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring back
Cyberpunk
Base
did it.
McShooty.
Oh my god,
Bring back.
please.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Oh, wait. Sorry. One more thing. Somebody mentioned on my stream the other day an like amazing idea for Borderlands 4. Like, what if they brought back Base McShooty and then somebody stopped me and was like, oh, he's dead. I'm like, but hold on. What if they do zombie DLC and make him a zombie?
hell
Like,
yeah.
bring that like
Ooh,
iconic thing
I-
back and have sense to what's going on.
I would kind of love that, honestly.
I would.
I would
too.
love another zombie DLC. I know it's like the mobbing for zombies is like, wow, it's just slow psychos pretty much. But like, honestly, it was such a vibe. And
I was gonna say it's the vibe that matters, and I think it would be a
Yeah.
sick way to do it. Because I do want
A
us to
little
look
nostalgia.
forward. Yeah, because I want the franchise to move forward. Like selfishly for Borderlands 4, I really want like a time skip, new people, because I feel like we've milked the Raiders to death in a lot of ways. Like we're doing the search for Spock right now for Lilith, and then beyond that, like let's move on. Like honestly, like Burn Sanctuary, I don't care. Like let's give us a chance. But like I want the nostalgia from it, and I feel like that would be a good way to like scratch my both lore brain and just like attach to Borderlands brain, but then let it go somewhere else. I'd be happy with that. I would be happy with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get we have all these theories. Like I know we talked about a lot on Twitter about Elpis breaking through in that like first art with the teaser they had, and we were quickly like confirmed that, but I feel like all of our theories are totally wrong. At some point,
I mean, yeah, maybe it's Pangolin Company. We broke their banger shield.
Yeah.
Finally, the turtle shield will get the respect it deserves. Like that's where we're at. They revert course entirely, get rid of loot luck, do all that, go back to the OP levels, and that's all we get. We just get peak. That is all Borderlands 4.
No.
It would be
I think the earned end game is good, but not peak. Peak is.
I fucking hate peak.
Peak is a slog.
I hate peak.
Yeah.
I do not think
As
it
a
adds value to the
YouTuber,
game.
As a YouTuber, it's the most miserable like video content to like edit and make into like actual functional watchable content.
Like I think I still have fun with peak because I like the challenge, but if I were to try to put that into content, that would be it is.
I pretty much have to cut it down into hey, I went from OP 0 to 10 in one video. And then like just sink like 10, 12 hours, whatever it takes to get it done into one video. And like that's not my flow.
No, when I hit peak in any type of like run or challenge thing, it's usually where I lose steam and interest in that run, where it's just like about OP3, I'm like, this is so repetitive.
Right. That's where it's
unforgiving.
For a lot of people.
It just
like my audience loves watching the synergy and the building and the farming stuff. And then when I get to peak, like chat's dead and it's just like, I'm pretty bored too.
Well, that's the thing. You can't
be like,
anything.
Gotta get it done.
It does. It's just like that completionist little thing, but like it's such an unforgiving game mode. But there's so little reward to it. It's been talked to death. But like with the pearls now just being irrelevant for it, like it just
you have to pay for your reward at the end too.
Yeah, it just fucking sucks. I don't know.
Please pearls.
Please
pearls.
Are we pro pearls coming back and forth?
Yes, we are.
Goodness.
We are radical pearls.
I want something better than pearls. Like I not like a higher rarity than pearls. Like I just don't like fucking pearls. Like I think we need something higher than legendary. But like
pearl, I think it'd be weird if they did a different color or a different name. But like
I feel like that's a good box thing to do.
It is
just like change the name and color just for the sake of making it different. Because I mean, we went from OP levels to mayhem levels to chaos levels to it's the same like end game functionality level climbing, but they have to rename it. So why would they not do that to the new rarity, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's.
I think it'll depend if we get like melee weapons.
Really rainbowed everything up.
Everfescent is just it. Listen, my thing
Those
about
are modded items.
They're. I mean, I had a DM the other day asking me if it was like, hey, is this gun better than the Hellfire and like whatever? And I was just like, okay, if we're really going to talk about the effervescence here, like this is just like identical. It's the same gun. Like
I felt like they were just cut on time and just like had to throw something in there, so they kind of rushed mid weapon pack.
Sanctuary. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I think it'll be a lot if we get melee weapons, if we like are staying with relics or class mods or loot or like however they lean into that kind of like loadout. I think it'll depend on how crucial things above legendaries are, but I'm always floored about how passionate people are about putting pearls back, because I never am like, hell yeah, I got this pearl, that's what I'm going to use. Like it never feels like my intentional build.
Did you come from Borderlands 1 pearl farming at all?
No, I didn't, and that's the thing.
I think that's that's the thing. A lot of people who hate pearls just do not have not played BL1 first, or like actually experienced that.
Never gotten a pearl in BL1 and it shows.
No, I haven't. But listen, I've played Borderlands 1 like 1.5 times, technically 2, but I don't remember most of it. But I remember 1.5. I've tried to start up multiple times since, and I tell people that all the time. Like I appreciate Borderlands 1 for what it is, for sure. Like and I know that if I had played it first, I would be so attached to it, and it would be one of my favorite games. And because I'm like, I still have my PS2 for that reason. Like I have so many games that are just bad now that I'm like, no, this is like the best game. And I enjoy it for reasons I can't get in other games. But I feel like anyone who played 2 first or any of the others first and that go back to 1, it's too dated of a UI and it's too patient of a game. Like it forgets it has a story.
I also kind of feel like that with people who played BL3 first and they go back to BL2. I feel like there's a first time bias where I feel like if you've played BL3 first, you're more likely to like BL3 more.
Yeah, because you set your standards on like what is Borderlands off of what you play, and then you go back and it's like, oh, this is a downgrade from this and that, and not the same.
Yeah, but not the same is a big part of it. And I know we're all creatures of habit with that, but I think that's why I'm such a TPS truther, though, because if it just had gear acquisition, if it just had its full cycle, I feel like it would be so much more to it, because it was leaning into a lot of the elements I like about 2 that weren't super explained. Like, because 2, I feel like, doesn't do any effort to explain like the type of diversity you can really have in it. And so even
2 is super bad at teaching you.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know that important like element thing? Yeah, it's a side mission, so you might not learn about it.
You won't learn about it. They'll warn you once about overleveled enemies. You have no idea that there are other types of gear in Tina's DLC. He doesn't tell you where to farm or how to farm. Like, you have to look up virtually anything to like figure out how to like continue that in-game grind.
How many of you guys
Border decks
would know?
Yeah,
exactly. Border decks, get that in here. How many of you guys would know that the Hornet does grenade splash damage if you didn't learn that?
80%.
Fuck all.
80% grenade splash.
Listen, I have beef with the Hornet, so I would not know it because I fucking hate the Hornet because it won't drop for me when I need it ever. It's so annoying. It's like, I never want to farm it. And then I'm like, okay, let's just cross this off the list, or I need it for this one thing. And then it takes an hour or 2 to farm. And I'm like, this is absurd. This is fucking absurd. So
if they would have made it fire for early game, I would farm it all the time. But corrosion's like, oh, hey, it's good for boom boom. And yeah, I guess that's kind of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll work for early game, but you know, I like matching elements if I can.
Yeah.
You're not a gub truther at the early game.
Gross.
It follows you. You never know. You get an attachment to it. I'm a Moxie weapon truther. Like, specifically the SMGs. Like, fuck the Grog. I will rant about the Grog for the rest of my life. I hate the Grog so much. The
crutch.
It just is so dumb. The fact that something that is a mission item that is not something you're designed to keep is so reliant on. Like, it's a whole. Oh God, I hate it. But the Moxie SMGs, I feel like, are slept on at a point for a lot of people who like won't go do the grind or can't do the grind or are ignoring them when they are right there and could carry them through like Heroes Pass and stuff, especially in first investigation and stuff. Like, they're slept on a little bit because things like the Grog exist, that they're just like, well, it doesn't match up. I'm like, of course it doesn't, but now you have a better element for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the good touch and bad touch aren't like the best at endgame, but if you pop on the B shield at any point, it's just like a powerhouse with, you know, insane healing at that point.
Okay, wait. You two can probably maybe talk sense to me, but I don't think so. Tell me why I need to give a fuck about the Sandhawk.
Unlisted projectiles, so the B shield will get 8 times the damage on the card.
But I hate it.
It's just good B delivery.
Yeah. It's just basically anything that has unlisted projectiles. Like, if you look at the weapon card, it says like not times 8, but it just, you know, shows a normal weapon and not times anything. If you put on the B shield, it just gets multiplied for every pellet.
These are facts.
The Hail, the Leadstorm, the Sandhawk, the Peppernell, I'm sure there's more. Fibber.
Sabar. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Those are correct statements. I still don't care. I hate it. It's so slow.
I understand.
It's so slow. I hate farming it. It's not fun
Sandhawk
to use.
With no B is rough.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, especially on Maya, I'm a B crutch. Like, I'm usually like antagonist B loyalist. Like, I'm predictable in that regard for me. But it's just, even with flying, the effort to get it, because I hate just giving it, like, the effort to go get it is exhausting, and then I don't want it at that point, and then it just doesn't do any better for me than the bitch. Like, it just doesn't do any better. I don't
know if this is a hot take, but I'm really hoping BL4 does away with mission items.
Oh, same. Like,
yeah, I don't mind that.
I just tie it to the boss in the mission, you know?
Yeah.
I would much rather have like the iridium of that game for doing missions. I'd rather just get like a golden key from doing the mission or something. But having it tied to even if the missions are repeatable, you are going to get so annoyed hearing that same mission dialogue just to get like a Hyperion grip, like terrible roll, you know?
Yeah.
I think they should do away with missions and just, if you want to drop, you kill something for it. And I think that's the best thing to do.
I would like to see a little bit more like not kill boss and get drop, instead like more of the like Let's Go Puddle or Gwen's Head box.
Let's Go Puddle, Gwen's Head box. Yeah, I love those.
Like,
I really
cool,
like the little Eevee
things
farm.
on the map. Yeah, those are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it changes it up.
I do like the Iridium like reroll and stuff like that we've added into 3, but like I wouldn't mind seeing. It's like, it's fine. Like, that's the thing. It's something to do with Iridium.
It's a band-aid.
Yeah, like it doesn't fix it. But I don't know what I would want in its place is the issue.
I mean, less annoying, so you don't have to, roll a
Honestly,
1 in
yeah.
how many ever annoyance there is.
Yeah, I think arbitrary gun stats and like item stats are crazy. Like, I liked it where like, assault rifle comm boost assault rifle mag, assault rifle comm does not boost sniper accuracy and Jacob's damage and
Yeah.
shield capacity because those are just random like arbitrary stats, and I feel like the same way with like anointments.
Yeah. If you think about it at its core, like sitting at a wall and pressing button until, happy is not fun gameplay.
No, but neither is save quitting. And I say this as bitterness for like being on console for so long where like save quitting is the most exhausting thing in the world to like reload on a PS4 to try to go get a mission item, And there's got to be a more rewarding way for it, but also like if we're keeping the concept of gun parts and those type of roles, like I genuinely do not know a fix around it that would make everyone happy.
A list.
Yeah.
Let you pick, one.
Yeah. But then it's like, okay, I feel like I'm talking the wrong market for this. It's like playing The Sims and using cheats, and then suddenly you're bored with it. It's like because you're just getting anything you want, and it's not
all your money. Yeah,
you just have all your money and all your needs are met, so you don't need to worry about anything, and it just what you're doing.
It's got to be a balance where, like, I think in Joltz here, I think it was like your 10 things you don't want. You said like there's one class mod that's like a 1 in 80 billion or something to get a god roll.
Oh yeah, the bypass it thing.
Yeah, something like that, and that's too much. That's too much. If that's the system, that would make a system make more sense to have like crafting stuff, but we don't want crafting in Borderlands.
No, please do not. No, I don't want crafting. I forget crafting exists.
A good enough class mod is a 1 in 5, for like Borderlands 2, for example.
Like I do understand
like a 1
the
in
whole
3 or something.
Like I understand the whole like, hey, you're gonna get slightly better and better upgrades and in a way maybe more playtime, but when I get a class mod that's like, yo, I get sniper damage, COV accuracy, and then like Hyperion reload. It's like, random is random. Maybe it works for that specific build, but it just doesn't feel good most of the time for the average
think
player.
The idea was you will always have room to improve, but I can't think of a single person that has played any of the other Borderlands games and has legit farmed a perfect build.
No.
Like, if they haven't done it with those systems, then making it harder isn't really necessary.
Yeah, like in BL3 there was a whole like thing where like Joltz won't mention that he doesn't that he uses save editors, and I'm like, dude, I admit it, I use it. Like I don't enjoy the farming. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I thought you wouldn't admit that. It's like, yeah, I'm not farming a class mod with like 3 right passives and 2-3 skills.
I love people think that's a gotcha when you make this much Borderlands content to be like, aha, you have to use the save editor. It's like, of course I fucking do. I had to do something. I got it.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just being realistic about it. I look at the math, at the odds, and I'm like, I don't have a spare, 115 hours to farm for this item. So
sure, but the dopamine hit that comes with getting a drop that like you're just like tooth and nailing, like it just.
And that's why he does his perfect farm series.
I know.
Because that's, he still gets that fix sometimes, and that's fun for him, then, go for it. But, like, when it comes to, like, the, like, actual content creation and, like, wanting to get back into the action and not save quitting to talk to person, to save quit to talk to person.
It gets messy because I know people who have 500 hours in BL3 for the type of game. They don't farm at all. They just like playing the game. And that's insane to some people, and I know people who absolutely only care about, weapon parts and redoing stuff in 2. And it's hard to marry those type of players, especially when any video game you're making has to be accessible to like first time players and to bring them into the franchise. And so something like the farming and mechanics and the drive, like I want there to still be challenging stuff to get. I don't want to just feel like I can like go down a list and pick, because it doesn't like maybe it was like I kind of like how the diamond key room works. I like stuff like that where it's like you can like get lucky and do something like that in there, and I wouldn't mind it on a more limited like level for that. But if we're wanting more guns every game and more drops every game and more diversity every game, at some point that just the pool's so large, you're gonna have to wade through some of the lower stuff. And I genuinely, it's beyond my element of doing like this is what would make everyone happy.
See,
like, you guys feel like BL3 had too many uniques?
Yeah,
there was a lot of overlap. Like, these 2 legendary items are this legendary item, but together, same. Yeah. Like there was the kick charger and the ion cannon. They were like pretty much the same thing, except one was slide for extra more. damage or whatever.
I wasn't sure if it was like I'm just so like I'm not liking the constant drops of legendaries that made me feel like that, or if that was actually an issue. But
for content creation, I will say there is a bias of getting drops faster because you need video footage or want to show something off, or make a video about or guide or whatever. But one thing I do want to mention is like when you're build testing to make sure a build actually works, it really does suck if you have an idea and then you go out and farm all the stuff and then the build concept doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. There's no good way to put it, but like if you have a save editor and like check out the items to see if they work together, synergize, then you can like know and put it out there like, hey, this combo of like farms, go do that, get these items and like make this build.
Yeah.
So like save editing's not like, the devil, the bad thing. It's like it has good to it too.
Well, I also think we're not an online game. We're not a leaderboard game. Like,
it's not PvP.
Yeah, and it's
not PvP.
Things like when people get mad at like Elden Ring, like the concept of do you need difficulty settings and stuff like that. And I'm like, it doesn't take away your enjoyment to play something in the hardest way possible to let other people play it at a more accessible way for them. Like some people will never play the game. And so I'm very big in let people have their game modes, let people, take what it is when it's like a single player game or like this is multiplayer, but you know what I mean? Like this is not PvP and you can absolutely play it offline and, to your heart's content. And the fact that we're pouring thousands of hours into a game that has like a 40-hour campaign should show you that like that kind of diversity is like good. And having the ability to craft those builds and put that out there and get people excited about it is why we have so much life in the community and so many opinions about it. But I do think it is a necessary thing. Like when I didn't have access to it on console, I wasn't like, oh, these people are cheaters. It was just like, oh man, I wish I had that. Like that was it. So I think it's good. I think it's good for the health of the franchise to be able to figure out like some of these things that you maybe couldn't normally get, or is it worth getting if you're putting out like a recommendation to go get it. Not that should be the word of God, but like, if you're telling people, hey, this is the thing that's going to shred something. Yeah.
Tougher farm or something.
A tougher farmer if you're building something for raid bossing solo or, like any of the like takedowns. Like there are so many niches in there that having a concept for, hey, I think this could be a lot of fun to put out there. Doing the growing pains of figuring out if it works while live or maybe not getting the drop you need or doing that. Like you're going to run out of steam to do it in the first place.
Yeah. I will say though, over the course of time, like Borderlands 1 Crawl, they intended it to be like a 4-person fight, but the community finds a way to do it solo. And in Borderlands 2, it's like 4-person raid bossing. It's like, no, we found a way to do it solo.
We found a way to do it
solo. And then for BL3, they were like, you know what? You guys can solo the bosses. We're cool with that. I'm glad we, veered away from the whole like you have to play co-op to play the end game.
Yeah. Though I am sad about like the fact that we had it barred from cross-platform with Sony for so long, which is not Gearbox's fault at all, but it did keep me from doing a lot of the BL3 stuff because all of my other friends were PC and I was the one on PlayStation, and so I just didn't dive into any of it, and now I feel so behind on it because I just missed it when everyone was doing it, and because I only got a PC like 3 years ago now, and at that point the game had been out for years and everyone else had been doing it, so it's less fun now. And so I'm excited for the concept of if we have stuff like that, like I do get to like dive in early, but that's the big thing for me. It's if you're going to have something be required to do this with multiple people, like make sure that you got access to that, because it really does suck. I hyperfixate on these games. I love these games, and it makes me lose interest in it when it's something that I can't do for that, or if I'm like not in a social mood and don't want to deal with it, versus I will sit here and torture myself and try to beat Bloodwing under level for 3 days because I hate myself. Like it very much varies.
Unhealthy addiction, all of us, to Borderlands.
Honestly, I thought you were gonna say to Bloodwing. I'm like, that's a hate relationship. That is not addiction. that is a beef. That is a personal blood feud. No. But absolutely. We're all, that's the thing. We all talk about Borderlands with such authority, but like we're just all fucking nerds obsessed with this game to an unhealthy level. Yeah. Like that's it.
Quick little thing to add back on the like whole content creation side of things. I think content creation is like a big part of the community, and if the content creation is good, it will, make the community thrive, and I think more people will play it. And I think something that Wonderlands and kind of BL3 had an issue is just like the lack of routing that one can do.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Jolts, but some of the funnest stuff I have with Borderlands is just thinking about what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
next and in what order.
Yeah. I
Because
don't know
I
if you knew
have
that,
those
but like,
designated drops.
yeah, like for my runs that I do, like challenge runs, I have a list. Not, like full blown route, but like, list like,
Mhm.
hey, go get this item, go get this item. Like the routing part's
Quick
really fun
notes.
for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, quick
exactly.
notes.
And it's really fun for me too when I do like allegiance runs or anything like that. And it gives me something to be excited for. And just the routing in Wonderlands. Well, I haven't beat Wonderlands, so I could be wrong, but the routing just doesn't look like it's there. And I think that's an important thing for, like you said, speed of content creation. Because you don't want it to be a slog to get a certain item. Because like what, you have to vendor farm the mission items now? Like what
Yeah.
is that?
That, like, I still remember, what was that shotgun? The Last Rites, like, it's a blue shotgun that was, like, really good. I
Mhm.
would, like, not touch any side missions just so I could, like, have only that item appear in the vendor if I get lucky. And, like,
Yeah, and
farm it.
that's something you
It was,
shouldn't have
like,
to worry about playing the
yeah,
game.
I don't know.
That's
I feel
yeah,
like,
that's
like, it's hard not to, like, say it's not, but, like, for real, content creation and stuff and live streaming and videos and stuff are a huge part of, like, the community nowadays.
oh yeah, for sure.
And like, it just sounds a bit selfish, but like if the content creators can't make content out of that, then like it's, I don't know, the whole vibe of it just doesn't feel
No, I don't
good.
think it's selfish at all. I know what you mean by the feeling, but it's you want Borderlands to thrive, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, exactly. You're doing it for the community too. It's a win-win on both sides.
Yeah.
I think it is true because when I look at so many other, fandoms or games I love, like there's not the same type of all size content creators making content. And I feel like Borderlands is really good about that, where people are excited. Like so many people come in and are like, oh, I want to start making videos or I want to start streaming. And they just kind of do it for themselves for a while, or they get really excited to also share their build guides. And it's really unique for the franchise. And at least in all the other games I play, like things like, yeah, everyone will stream Overwatch or do Overwatch, but like the type of content creation, like we're a small enough community while being a bigger community than people really expect to be able to notice when we have new people pop up in it too, and see the love that does get poured into that. And I think it's one of the few games that I really love, and I love so many games, but one of the few ones that get people excited to make content. And one of the hardest things to do as a brand or anything is to get people to make content. And so the fact that people want to with Borderlands, and yeah, like you have to have that type of farmability, replayability, buildability, to really let that part of it thrive.
Like every now and then I get the comment about like, yo, I'm thinking about doing content creation for Borderlands, and like when I see that I get excited. I'm like, yes, another content creator. That's awesome.
No, but one thing that kills me,
need their pointers and stuff too.
It kills me though, because then it's like people who don't create content for it. And like I'm biased because I'm on both like the gaming and like cosplay and stuff like that side. But like when the 4 teaser dropped, I thought it looked great. I was really fucking excited. I really like the art style of it, whatever. And there were people that then were arguing on Twitter who aren't cosplayers that aren't doing anything, saying, well, what, this ruins the cosplay community, and this art style, like they're just fucking over other cosplay, like all this stuff. And I'm like, it's the same. It's still like that line art. It's still like if you're it's the same, like no, it doesn't. Like it's the same thing. Like listen to the cosplayers, and the cosplayers are like, yeah, we're excited about this. I want to see this. Like, look at how I'm going to build the sand thing. Like I feel like people want to assume a lot when they're not the ones creating it, that any change is going to be negative for it. But I really think we need a good swing. Like I want Borderlands 4 to feel different, and like learn from 2 and 3 and pre-sequel and all the stuff I like love from all of them, and some of the stuff we don't. But it feels like it needs to feel like a different game. Like I say all the time, I feel like if 3 was just a copy paste of 2, people would have not liked it at launch anyway.
Oh yeah, they got to switch it up.
Yeah, and I want to see them take some swings, do that, and that means changing the art style a bit, changing the skill trees, things like that. Like I want to see what that looks like. But I will say Borderlands is one of the first ones to do it like that. A little bit of
experimentation is good.
Yeah.
Like they added the takedowns to 3.
Yeah,
I thought they were like freaking awesome. Like Guardian takedown, but like Malamo takedown was really, really good.
Right.
And I was kind of shocked we only got 2 takedowns. I'm like, bro, Gearbox, expand this idea. You have something here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with the takedowns and arms race. So we're so close to like something big, which is where every time Randy tweets out one of like, do you want like a MMO or do you want like a PvP Borderlands or anything like that? Like I could see something like how they're building with the takedowns and arms race working with that in a separate from the numbered series. Like they're so close to something really cool there. So I either want them to expand on that in 4 or put that in a separate part of the franchise. But I want to see more of it.
Think about Gearbox doing a PvP game with their game balance is...
they're not known for balance.
I mean, I can't think of a game that really is, though, is the thing. And I play PvP now. I used to like be a little bitch about it, but there's a balance patch every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I stopped PvP.
Because you're stronger. You're stronger than me. I hate myself.
Yeah.
They removed it in Wonderlands. I figured it was just like, I don't know.
Interesting. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I was thinking like, did they do it because the balance is like, it does, you just one-shot everybody every duel, or did they forget about it?
Honestly,
dueling a Maya and like Endgame BL2 to just get phase locked.
Yeah,
I feel like it might have just been budget. Like it's expensive to upkeep, you know, and it probably just didn't have the player base for it.
Yeah. It's just kind of weird because like Borderlands 1, we had these huge Coliseum arenas to like.
Yeah, we had like 3 of them.
Yeah, there's like 5.
Did we have 5? Really?
We had a lot. There was a lot of like, ones you don't even think about. Like one in Salt Flats, I believe, and then one at the beginning of the game.
Salt Flats, there's one by like the Corrosive Barrel Puddle, and then there's one in like Arid Boneyard.
Yeah, maybe there is only 3.
Yeah. I know
Either
exactly
way, like they had that
huge
is. Cool system, and then 2 they had the bubble system for dueling, and then 3 same thing kinda, and then I don't know. It just feels like they didn't push it further.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been an area of focus at all. It's been just like a box check versus like this is priority, which I mean, it doesn't need to be priority, but I would like to see a flesh out of it for sure.
Something that I think would be really big, well, besides designated drops, save quit farming I think it has to go eventually. Yeah. I think loading the whole main menu just to reload the entire map is excessive, especially when you're on console. And I feel like they've proven they can do it without loading screens, because if you die during like Digistruck Peak or the takedowns, I'm pretty sure the map just resets itself while you respawn, right?
And then that one guy at the end of the Jackpot DLC, you could just go to the fast travel and he respawns right away.
Yeah, and then like scrap primes, I think you could just So it's stuff doable. Like that's big. Right now, if I recall, Borderlands 3 players are like swapping between Mayhem 11 and 10 to reset maps faster. I feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah, you skip the whole menu. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So that being said, and just to keep the same vibe of how farming would go, I feel like they could literally just have a reset map option, like next to save quit. That would essentially just respawn you at like the closest, new use station, close all the crates, respawn the boss.
But a pixel to the right would be close to desktop. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right?
I can't stand that.
Right?
I'm just thinking,
funny.
I feel like you would have so many problems with just like when the map's that big. It's like I'm picturing like reloading Cyberpunk like that. Like if you die in Cyberpunk, you have to like flatline, like relaunch that screen. The screen doesn't take long to load. Like it's definitely faster than that, and it's not the same type. But you're not save quitting to farm a specific thing, but you are to do an event or to do an objective, right? And the memory leak issue in 3 anyway. I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
I hear the memory leak argument for that often, but I don't know if we can necessarily just assume a memory leak will happen, especially if it turns into like a mechanic they would actually try and do. I feel like if there was a memory leak to it, it'd be crazy. But like, I don't know. Molly One Takedown did it. Mods are doing it. Even Peak did it.
I feel like it just has to do it in an arena.
Especially for console players. It would be so big for them, and especially for co-op players. Yeah. It would be so big to farm in co-op.
Even if they couldn't reset all the lootables, like ammo containers or whatever, I'd be fine with it. Just to have a way to reset the boss. Or
I feel like something like that.
Buttons even.
I was going to say, if there's a button where it's like you enter, if it knows you're entering for a farm, like maybe if you're entering for the story mission to kill, like, Kilovolt or whoever, like, it's not automatically there. But like when you come back to farm it, then it's like, there's kind of like the new use station. You can just go and like hit a button, or if you, go into your HUD and you can respawn boss, and then you can stay right there and do it.
Yeah, there was a video I made recently about like the art of farming, and it's just like running and like routing your character to the boss or whatever you're trying to farm. I think it's a really cool like thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, obviously not all farms are going to be like interesting, point A to point B in a car or whatever, but with the whole like BL3 spawning by save station system, it'd be cool if they would add like hey, you can do a little C turn around to the boss, or you can do this like cool risky jump over a cliff to get there a little bit faster.
Right,
like, add a little map fun to get to the boss.
You don't want the boss to be handed to you right as you spawn in necessarily.
Yeah.
I think one of I was doing that. I was trying to farm a Midnight Star, and I found a skip where you could like jump out before the elevators all the way up to the top, and you could just jump out the side of the building. And I was like, yo, that's super cool. And that's a time save, and that feels like cool to learn. Stuff like that I really like. Just faster routes and.
I just need better maps. I just need better maps. I don't like all that's cool. I would pay money. I would probably give a limb. Don't have a good limb to give, but I need better maps.
Yeah,
so bad.
I couldn't see them like going out of their way to like restructure the map to have like specific farming routes or whatever. They've never done it. I don't know. I just feel like
I want it to be like
cool.
I keep referencing Cyberpunk just because I'm staring at the icon on my screen, but also just because the map like works. But like where in Cyberpunk, if you're like going to objective and you like go a different way off the route, the line taking you to the waypoint will redirect and give you a new route for like the way you're going. And I would like something like that you could like maybe toggle on and off, where like if you are just exploring something and you have like, hey, this boss or this farmable or this whatever is my objective, but you're exploring, you're grappling, you're doing whatever, and then you see like a new line from, you're like, oh, I didn't even know I could go this way or something like that. Like I think that would be cool. And also I don't have to then sit here and do like beautiful mind style math to figure out what this 3D map wants me to do when I can't see the whole map, because it drives the moment I get out of my rhythm, it creates such a just slog for me to get through, where I'm just like, I don't want to have to figure this out right now, because the moment I spaced out or went a different way or did something else, I now have to go back on this specific farming route. And it's such a small complaint, but I feel like it would make people farm more if it did just have like a, hey, follow this line a little bit.
Yeah, I know they did that for like Grand Theft Auto and stuff, but I'm just trying to picture it within Borderlands. If we have all this dynamic movement, how would the game have knowledge to know, hey, you can climb over this building and, skip going around it? Like, I don't know. It just seems like it'd be very hard to map out.
But I think that's the beauty of it, because like things like when you're running around Night City, and if you have the line like reforming where you're going, because that's more massive than Borderlands at that point. Like it's the world wise at least, because you're not traveling between planets at the very least. But if you are hopping over trash cans doing that, you can see like, hey, it wants me to go down this pathway, but I'm gonna jump over here, cut through this, and see, and it will like autocorrect and let you go that way. Like you can still figure it out and still follow without getting fully lost of where you're going. And I think it would encourage more exploration. I also think just proper like mantling and grappling kind of stuff would be good, obviously, for that. But I also say this is someone who can't grenade drop.
They're gonna have in for.
I bet we'll have pretty modern gameplay. I bet we'll get pretty like it's a modern game if they don't launch a modern mechanics, especially since we're doing like getting rid of older consoles and that. I feel like we have to have that more fluid movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that would dive to prone, like what?
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
I would love to prone.
But yeah, the border decks idea. So
I love that, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have that for farming too. Like, hey, I was in this map, I kind of forget, where that boss was.
Yeah.
And then they can like, see an interactive map and the boss, and heck, add your routing idea in there, and give you a hint for like what they drop, and like give you a bunch of cool information. Like
like honestly, cool. if you kill the boss, and it just pops up in like your loot decks or whatever you want to call it, and then it'll just be like the boss, some funny little stats about it or whatever, and then you kill it more. It could be a thing where you unlock more info after like 5 kills. You have all the info, and then or it could just be a thing where it's like their drop is like grayed out until you get one, and then once you get one, you know what it is like forever in that. But
yeah,
it would be like a Pokédex where you're like learning it.
They kind of did that a little tiny bit for BL3. There was a challenge where I think you get like a bunch of corrosion kills, and it shows that you get a legendary pistol, the icon. And then after doing it, you get a free Hornet. Because like people would find a Hornet randomly in their inventory and be like, yo, where did I find this? And there's like one challenge in the game that gives you a legendary pistol, and that's it.
Me, anytime I play, I just open my inventory. I'm like, when did I get half of this? I don't know. There's so
I
many
just draw my
drops.
loot on the floor and forget about it.
That's fair.
Right, yeah.
That's entirely fair. God, I did that once in 2 when I
But
didn't
no
mean
more, because we can sell with the button. So
I do.
or whatever
yeah.
that thing is.
That was a nice quality of life change. I think I would like to see that in
all the quality of life changes in 3 I do
4.
really appreciate, and I would love to see them organically into. And I think absolutely necessary in 4. Like, if we do not have auto pickup, if we do not have quick sell, or even just the sell trash was a nice thing in 2, but figuring out how to market and then move around, like, I don't know, the UI in 3, yeah. And the UI in 3 is so overwhelming as is that, like, anything that eliminates the time in it, if you're, like, trying to go through inventory and figure it out. Also, can we fucking fix where you have to then go through the social menu to get to the mail that it sends you the manufacturer shit? Why do I need to go through my option menu for that? Like, no, things like that, I would
we have a
trim.
A hotkey on PC for that?
We probably do. It's been so long since I've looked at anything.
Are you on controller?
No.
Oh.
I played on control when I've, like, 100% the game, did all that. It was on PlayStation. I haven't played a lot of 3 on PC. I've, like, mostly done the hunts on PC. So, and a few other things. So I just haven't. I will learn it and then forget about it because I won't play it for a few months or several months, and then I go, oh my god, I have to remember where everything is, and then lose my mind again.
Yeah, one thing I would like for the loot thing is, like, you know how in Terraria when you trash something, it sits in the trash can but doesn't delete it.
Yeah.
Like, have a, like, 3 item backup or something to where you're like, oh crap, I sold a triple amp shield or whatever. Right. Then you can, like, take it back.
God, me when I sell skyrockets on my fucking run every time.
I've done that quite a bit.
And I won't notice it till I'm like 3 missions later. I'm like, motherfucker, this is what's wrong.
Especially with, like, some of the BL2 menu being, like, a bit buggy. Sometimes I think
buggy.
I lost a 1 life because I accidentally sold my Lady Fist. I was like, where's my Lady Fist? Yeah. I checked the shop and there it was. I was like, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's a weird bug where you, like, double click your item when you equip it. Yeah. And, like, it switches everything around. It's like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Okay, that happens to me all the time. 3 does that to me too. It's still buggy, just in a less obviously buggy way. It just looks more like user error in 3, and I'm not convinced it's not. But every time I'll, like, go to swap it, it, like, will highlight a different thing and be like, hey, you want a grenade mod? I'm like, I'm literally on my shield right now. Change a shield. I'm clicking on a shield, and it just will be like, you're looking at a grenade mod though. I'm like, can we stop this? So I don't know. I like the simplicity of the 2 menu a lot. I like the style of 3, but I think it's hard when we're just adding more and more mechanics to the game. Like, the skill trees are, I don't know. I think the TPS skill trees are the best in my opinion. And 3s just feel, I don't need the double action skills. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's too much, and also the trade-off isn't as good. It's not enough, and then the trade-off, I don't like not being able to use nades and some of the skills and, like, things like that, where I'm just like, it doesn't feel like actual diverse builds like TPS did for me. And it's so weird for a game that didn't get nearly as much, like, dev love as it needed, and doesn't have enough for that replayability to feel like it does have the strongest skill trees.
Yeah, I will say though, BL3's augment system for, like, mid tree additions to your action skill, I did like that.
I did like those too. Those were kind of interesting. I did not hate those.
Like, it's like, oh hey, Iron Bear, I have 2 guns. Oh no, I have 2 missiles. Or now my rounds are cryo or fire or something. Like, that was cool.
I feel like I'd love more of those options, but just give them, like, 1 action skill,
Yeah, I don't need the 2 action skills.
I didn't like the 4 action skills because there's a good chance one of them's bad. Like with Flak, I've heard terrible things about gravity.
I've yet to play Flak, honestly. I've yet to play. I can't make myself.
They're buggy. I've tried using Zane Ice Cannon, and I lose charges out of nowhere because I accidentally double tap the button. And I just, those are my experiences with it. And I would rather have just, like, I don't know. Let's see, how many augments are there on each tree? Like 2 each per tree. I'd rather have 8 augments for 1 action skill that just give it enough variety than that, like, get just, like, 4 different action skills that are, I don't know.
Because, I mean, no matter what, if you have 4, you're going to, find which one works the best, and then, like, there's always going to be that underdog that you just never touch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where they messed up with not giving us new characters, but giving us new skill trees. Because that's another thing is, like, you already have the character max leveled out. You could test this tree. You're not going to level the character and learn it as you go, and that's not replayability. That's like, I'm going to hop back on BL3 for a day or two because it's a new update.
Yeah, I agree. Like going through a new character and like building them from scratch, and you get more playtime out of that. It's more of a slow burn, but I mean, you learn the character, how the skills function.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like, all right, 5 points. Nope, not that skill. 5 points. Okay, we're gonna go this skill tree. Like people were like, already testing the endgame setup on day one when the skill trees came out.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, I don't know. Like, not everybody wants to replay the story, but I think it's important when it comes to a new character. Plus, you get cool new voice lines and feel for the character.
For sure. And
I don't know.
I think it was during PAX or one of them. They were talking about BL4, and I think they said something along the lines of,
it was at PAX, yeah.
Our characters are going to be more in it, and I was kind of excited for that.
Yeah, and cutscenes.
It's like, bro, what are we doing in the cutscenes?
Yeah, I mean, even in BL2, it's just like, hey,
we watched.
I'm just gonna stare at him.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I don't know about you guys, but I'd start blasting.
Sorry, I was looking at the loot on the floor.
I think if Jack came up to my face and was like kidnapping someone and just killed someone, I could see being a little still in that one. But all the others, I'm like, I think people like being in the moment, like, oh, I'm gonna I'd be the one to like take down the gunman kind of vibe. And I just feel like if the dude's finally revealing himself and just killed your leader and kidnapped the other and it's an inch from your face, like, don't fucking pick a fight with me, I might be like a little stunned.
And then Accent's charges out with no emotion, just.
Yeah, literally. You just face lock him while he's talking and just like sit there. Be like, oh, what were you saying? Yeah. No, I think the more we're involved, the better. And I know I'm the minority probably in saying that I do love the story playthroughs, but I don't need them multiple times. I do like UVHM like as a mechanic. Like it's my favorite playthrough mode. Not the OP levels or anything like that. It just feels like when I was first.
TVHM is good.
TVHM is good. I don't think we need. Yeah,
might not be good for everybody. I think TVHM's fine, but I know everybody.
Well, I think my bias comes from the fact that I started like clearly Maya main, and so before I was like looking at builds or doing anything when I was just playing alone for years, doing my whole thing. And UVHM was the first time it forced me to be on level because it levels with you, and all of my skills did slag because I was using Ruin, and so I didn't realize a lot of the other issues till I started branching out, and I was like, oh, this region, because I wasn't using slag because I had Maya doing that, and it definitely is built for
definitely a specific don't prep you for the jump from TVHM to UVHM.
No,
it's like, hey, you get a little more swap speed, and enemies can regen
tell
HP.
You that? Does the game tell you get more swap?
No, it doesn't.
No,
I didn't think so. That's why
it just tells you your enemies will be harder, and
I think there's a pop-up menu that doesn't go through that is supposed to tell you.
I don't think it tells you like the actual specs of it. I think it just tells you like this is for like your hardest thing or whatever. Because I remember, I think that was the first time I was ever on the Borderlands Reddit. It was the first thing I ever like looked up on Borderlands Reddit where I was like, okay, I'm gonna start UVHM. Is there something I need? And I looked it up, and people were like, okay, you have to go get the grog. You have to start as close to 50 as possible. And there were like all these rules that I was like, what? And then I ended up doing none of them and just running it. But it was because it was years ago. But I was just like,
the first time I went into UVHM, I was like level 58 as Krieg, and I was like, oh,
that sucks. That fucking sucks.
Hey, I guess you got melee at least. But I guess you wouldn't know really. Yeah,
to rely on that. Yeah,
that's probably the best character you could have done it as. But
I will say, you go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say like the whole 3 playthroughs thing. Back then, I was okay with it, but nowadays I do feel like it's a bit excessive, and like I feel like it should probably go.
It feels excessive now. Yeah, it doesn't, or does it still in 2? I don't know. It didn't in 2, and I feel like I just have the nostalgia of 2 to be like, okay, it's fine. But I feel like TPS corrected so much of the balance issues for the game for me that I was like, yes, like this is a sweet spot. And then 3, just the mayhem modes do a lot of what I think OP and the UVHMs and everything and all the other games could have done anyway. The more viable mayhems at least. But I don't think we need 3 playthroughs. I just want to see like if we have more characters. I don't even know if we get them anymore. I feel like they've really distanced themselves from the idea of 6. I do like the idea of like smaller skill trees though with that, because to your point, like me being one of the people who are into the lore of the game, I do like going through and playing it. And if we do get to see people in cutscenes, if we do get to see it evolve, like I think that's so fun. But I know a lot of people who genuinely seem to not give a fuck about that. And I would hate to then make that you can't level and can't do that. But so many people won't sit there and grind the game after they finish the game for the background of the lore. So a lot of people complain that there's not story in 3 about XYZ. And I'm like, it is. You just have to like go get it.
Go
like,
find it. It's optional.
Yeah. Like it's not forcing it down your throat at that point. And so it's just, again, what does that balance look like for something like that? But ultimately, if we do have more Vault Hunters, that could be it.
I think Wonderlands kind of did a very terrible job with the replayability. To my knowledge, like I said, I haven't beat it. There's no playthrough 2, which could be fine, but there's also no playthrough reset. So I'm gonna guess that once you do all the missions, the world is just empty.
Chaos Chamber.
Anything, it feels. That's it, right? Chaos Chamber and those 4 DLCs that are like 10 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, geez, there's like nothing. You can't reset anything. And that was one of the things I found out. And I was like, I don't know if I want to keep playing this, honestly.
I think a lot of it is... Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, for my first playthrough, I did all the side missions and everything. And funny enough, like, it gave me just enough XP to get max level. I think level 40, right?
Yeah.
And then also I want to mention, like, Chaos Chamber, it's cool. It's fun. But with it being the only thing in that game to do, it just gets stale fast.
Yeah. I can almost... I haven't tried it, but I can almost imagine the randomness starting to be too random and it all feels like the same happening really quick. Maybe after, like, 5 to 10.
The grind 100 is too much. 100.
Yeah. You have to
once you see all the maps, you're just like,
to get that.
Yeah.
They could have gone away with it even like 30, but yeah.
The raid bossing's locked behind Chaos Chamber. The actual farming's locked behind Chaos Chamber. The endgame itself is Chaos Chamber. And the playthrough itself is a lot of Chaos Chamber, like mini Chaos Chambers for the game board.
The overworld
and so like it gets stale eventually, you know? Even with your 100 different maps or whatever.
I feel like a good content rotation for Borderlands is not I have to do A to do A better so I could get better at doing A. It should be like I should do A so I can be able to do B, and then maybe I would have a chance at doing C. And I feel like having routes like that and just options and different stuff to go after makes it a lot more. Honestly, I feel like I think they should do takedowns as like their own DLCs, like because I really like the takedowns.
Yeah.
As like a concept, but I also just feel like main game and every main story DLC should just come with like a traditional raid boss.
I agree. Yeah, that was the coolest thing.
I think it's more fun to go into a raid boss, shoot at him for 5 minutes, not see his health bar move at all, and then be like, dang, I got my ass beat. I want to figure out how that works. You know, I think it's fun losing to raid bosses more than just like not having raid bosses.
I got so humbled into with raid bosses because I remember I think it was the Son of Kravex DLC that was the first like one I attempted as like baby me, and I had gone through the actual DLC and it was a grind, but it was fine, you know. And so get there and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go raid boss it because I like figured out the iridium and I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Let's go. I can do that and it'll probably be cool to get back in the treasure room. And I drop down and he like one shots me. I'm like, oh, I wasn't prepared. And I go down and I realize I'm doing no damage. I'm like, oh, this is not built for me. This is different.
This is the real deal.
Yeah, this is gamer time. You need to put on the gamer brain. This isn't I'm mindlessly playing Borderlands while in the background I'm doing stuff. And it was exciting because it did feel like a new way to play the game, which is why I think the OP levels had worked for me at that point because it took me so long to try the OP levels. I've been playing for years and then was like, okay, do that. And I would just like mindlessly play through, like reset playthrough and every day and just in my downtime and tear through the game like once or twice. And when I tried the OP levels, OP1 was fine. And then OP2, I was like, okay, a little bit. And then I started realizing I actually need a new gear at like OP3. And I was like, oh, this is like fun again. Like it's not that it wasn't fun before, but it added that new layer. And I just hadn't realized that I hadn't had something like that. And I feel like that's a lot of my issue with Wonderlands and 3, where the stuff that would give me that kind of like, oh, wait a second. It's just either too available or too like the Chaos Chamber expected. Like it's very much like this is what you have to do, and so my brain goes, I don't. It's like you look in your fridge and you know what's there, and you don't want anything, but you're hungry, kind of vibe. Where I'm like, I know exactly what that is, and I don't want it.
I also kind of like when the raid bosses have like a mechanic. Like we could go on like how Guy's mechanic is terrible, but it was an interesting idea. It was just
something different.
Poorly. And I kind of like those when the raid bosses have something you have to learn about them. They're not just here's a big health bar.
Hold down trigger.
Hold trigger down. Yeah, hold the trigger down. You know, and I didn't get to fight. What's the new VAR kid in BL3? There's two. I didn't get to fight them, but I don't know if they have like a mechanic like that.
Honestly, when I fought them, I didn't see anything. It was just like a bullet heck. Just everything's going all over the place. Maybe there is mechanics, but I couldn't find it at the time.
Yeah,
I guess I was just holding down trigger and couldn't die.
Yeah, I would like to see them kind of go back to like some stuff like that, just making it fun to learn a boss more than just like beat a boss down. Even with like BL1 Cromrax, I didn't realize that the different worms just had like crazy like weaknesses to certain elements, and I was like, dang, these worms are strong the first time I played them, and then I learned that, and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
You're like, oh, I was an idiot.
I can't recall the first time I fought Crawl in BL1. Like it's so long ago now, but Borderlands 2, I do remember first time on Terramorphous.
Oh god.
And it was awful. I couldn't do it, and I was like, dude, what the heck? So eventually I did co-op, and me and my buddies were cycling out the arena to stop his health bar from resetting.
No, that's literally how I fucking beat it. I was like, fine.
Little bit of damage, we died. You jump in, dude. Little bit of damage, he died. You jump in, it's your turn. And eventually we killed him, and it was like the coolest moment. And I mean, we got a legendary guaranteed. We were freaking out over that, and it was a time.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite raid boss memories was, I think it was similar because I was fighting Terramorphous, and I was fighting him, and I was like, okay, I got past his fire phase, which I, was having trouble with. And then he did his black hole things where he smashes those two rocks.
Yep.
And he just starts sucking you in.
Yep.
And I was like, no way. What am I going to do with this now? And it's just like another just like layer to learn from it.
Yeah, I think it's cool nowadays with all the game knowledge. Like, all right, I'm going to throw down Accent's turret. I can stop myself from being sucked in, or use we call it Pride Rock. And there's so many like weird things you could do to like counter the raid boss.
Yeah.
I hate Hero so much.
That's
fair. She just it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Coming from like, release day Borderlands 2, I don't recall like this is like a weird take, but for real, the 3% drop rate at the time, I was okay with it, because coming from Borderlands 1, where like there was non-existent dedicated farming, I was like, dude, we have a way to target farm. This is so cool. And then eventually they did, up it up to 10%. I was like, oh wow, this is the change I didn't know I wanted. But like, I was okay with like having a way to farm it, even if the drop rates were very, very low.
No, I will say that was part of the charm of it. Like, but
now that we're doing, content.
Yeah,
it's overdone now.
Content would be rough.
Day and time, right?
Yeah,
it's weird for me because I genuinely think it was 2 years into playing Borderlands, and it wasn't like my daily thing that I did now, but I had hundreds of hours in the game at the point when I was just first casually playing it before I had a legendary drop at all, and I had no idea. I was like, what is this orange weapon? Why do I sell it? Why is it so expensive? It's bad. I think it was a madhouse. And I was like, but it's not good. And it just unlocked a new thing for me. Because again, the game doesn't explain it to you. When I hadn't played other looter shooters, and fucking 8 years ago or whatever, I'm sitting there going like, okay, I've been grinding this for years for what I thought was grinding at the time, and had it drop, and then when I first had a pearl drop and hadn't looked it up, and then it just kept building on that, where it did give that chase feeling that I've never had in 3. But
shiny color, good.
Yeah, it was just like it was very much the ADHD kind of like, ooh, like that's a thing. But it was I was just so thrown off. I'm like, is this a glitch? Is this that seems like a legendary color? It's like a game coded color, but it's a bad gun. And so the fact that like Borderlands has bad legendaries, or like, gimmicky legendaries, I love. Yeah. But the concept of world drops being so rare in like comparatively into it still gets me excited now. Like if I'm just like going through something, like I remember it was a Topnia, or no, it was a fucking, what was it? Was it a Topnia? I forget what it was, but it was something. I was doing a co-op of vocal, and under level, we're doing a one life, and we're getting to Bloodwing, of course. And I go and I open a locker, and there's just like a fucking like perfect legendary there. And I was like, we shouldn't even remotely be able to have this in normal mode. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, why is it? I've never seen this drop, and I couldn't farm it.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting. And I'm like, I have thousands of hours in this game, and I was like, genuinely, like, it's Christmas. Like, this is a gift for me. Like, I'm taking it. And I don't know. You don't get those moments when it's just, at least you don't get the satisfaction, in my opinion, from those moments when there are so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Cash, do you remember your first legendary in BL2?
My first legendary in BL2, I want to say it was the volcano. I think I got it from Warrior on my first playthrough, but I also feel like the first one I was shown was the Varrook. And I was like, yo, it shoots so many bullets. That must be so good. A similar story that I remember is my first glitch weapon in pre-sequel was a pepper box.
Nice.
And I knew the pepper box was an encode, thing from BL2, but I didn't know glitch rarity was a thing. So I legit thought I got like a glitch drop.
Oh my
just
god.
A glitch rarity because it was a pepper box. So I was confused. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, no way.
That's so fun.
I don't recall my reaction to glitch weapons, but I mean, I love them. They're cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know your first BL2 drop?
Yeah, the Curb Blaster, 3% from Mitchmong.
Hell yeah.
I was like, wait, what? And then that's when I looked at my strategy guide, and it said he target drops that, and I'm like, oh, because I didn't even look at the guide until I played the game.
And then a whole new world starts playing in the background.
What is all this? Yeah, it was just, it was super cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 2 weeks of about 10-hour a day, no exaggeration, farming to get my first B drop. And from Hunter. My luck is so inconsistent with farming. Like, it blows my mind when I just casually, like, I'll have you guys casually on and do something, and the amount of drops people get, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because this has never happened for me when so many of these things that should be easier, like, it was just a hunter farm, like, I wasn't even doing trees or anything because I had no idea, but I would just sit there every day in between calls and work, and then after work I'd sit there and be like, no, I want the shield, I hear it's a good shield, I want it, and it would not drop to save my life. And it's funny now because I'll get multiple in like one time running, and I'm like, it just it really makes you work for it sometimes. And I don't know, there's nothing really like it. No other game does it like that.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of funny because, like, back then, people would comment on my videos like, dude, you're so lucky getting all these drops. I'm like, well, this is jump cut content. I'm showing you when I get it. Yeah. And so that's why, like, back in, I don't know when it was, 2016, 17, I added the drop counter to my farming. And I'm like, okay, this is how rare things actually are, how long it takes me to get it or whatever.
I still get comments on the like 94 sham drop I had where people are just like, you're so subdued and
I'm
like
jealous.
Not whatever. Listen, you cursed me. You came in a chat and immediately were like, that's your RNG for the next 10 years. And you were right. I am still cursed. I did get a Cobra pretty quickly, but that was it. But like Cobra was like a few tries in one day and I was like, I don't know what to do now. I was going to do this all stream and now I can't do that because I just got it. But no, the sham drop happened and it's like, I literally didn't even have a sham drop until I had started streaming. Like any shame at all. And so I was like, this is going to be like weeks long and this give me something to do when I transfer from like PlayStation to PC. It's going to be fine. But I still get comments, people being like, you know, like, there's no way this happened. You're a liar. Like, you're too calm about it. It's this. I'm like, I was in shock. I was like, there's something wrong with it. There's something. Yeah. I'm just sitting there laughing at it because it's just so absurd when it's something that is supposed to be like that elusive. And I see people that are farming it for thousands and thousands of like runs.
Yeah. Like, the sham is known as, like, you know, the rare chase in Borderlands 2, but I feel like a lot of people don't know the actual, like, chance on it, which is 1 in 3,750.
Yeah.
So we did the math, and it's like, all right, 2-minute kills, that means 125 hours to, on average, get it. It's like, it's not as rare as, you know, some people put it out to be, but it's just so iconic that, you know, people love to chase it.
And it's useful, you know?
I remember seeing a tweet.
Sham's actually, like, crazy usable.
It is, especially depending on the build, even though I gave it away like immediately because I was, again, moving to PC. It didn't matter, but I was just like, this is absurd. But I remember right around the time that I like tweeted it, there was a different tweet that had gone around that was like, if you ever are questioning your life, just remember there are people still chasing the 94 shame in Borderlands 2. And I was like, yeah, that's fair, that's me, I will be doing it again, it's fine. But yeah, I don't know.
I'll get a second one.
I would like to. I'm afraid to test my luck though. I just kind of casually do it, which is why it hasn't rewarded me with anything because it knows. I swear it knows.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one of those yet. The only drop I haven't gotten is the Twister, but
I
have
hate
not
farming that.
I don't know if I even had a
The
waterless
last
drop.
thing I need, and then I've gotten everything.
There are so many
Dude.
effervescence and pearls I haven't had drop. It's annoying.
Yeah, fun fact about the Twister, the Hunt 2017, I didn't get it. The Hunt 2018, I didn't get it. The Hunt 2019, I did not get it. And then
Oh, jeez.
the Hunt 2021, I finally got it.
Hell
And it was
yeah.
like
That's
under the
good.
average. And I'm like, thank goodness, dude. Because I hear all these people, competing and stuff like, oh, I got in like, an hour and stuff. I'm like, I'm so jealous.
Oh my
Or
god.
Deceptics getting the Cobra in like 2 runs.
6
I'm like,
minutes?
bruh.
Yeah.
And I'm just
That
sitting there
was
like,
wild.
when's the luck going to strike my farm?
Right.
Listen, it has to balance out. It does, because I swear to God, I think you had popped in my stream one day or something when I was like, I think it may have been a hunt stream, but I was trying to farm a hornet, and everyone's just like, "Why is it taking so like? How many runs are you on?" And I'm like, "This is like the 40th run." Like it was just, we were stuck for so long, and I get stuck on the dumbest farms, and so I get really lucky sometimes with the big ones, and then nothing will happen when it's like this is a pretty high chance to drop, or if you're doing like Uranus or something like that, like I can't. Nothing will drop that I need. I'm like, I don't know why this is mocking me now.
Just roll good RNG. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm trying. We're working on it. It's fine. We have 2 D20s under my monitor. It's fine. We're manifesting. One of the questions, not to put you on the spot, I normally will end up asking,
Okay.
that people love is, like if you had to put a video game in type capsule, like 5 games that either these are your favorite games or the best games, but imagine you're just like putting underground for people to discover later, and like these are the quintessential games to play. Do you have 5 games that like altered your DNA or that you really love that feel like should go in there?
Are we talking about like humanity being wiped out or something, or what's going on here?
Yeah, like either way, however dramatic you want to put it. So like humanity wiped out, or like people who have never been exposed to video games suddenly dig up in your yard one day after you're dead, and you're like, oh my god, video games kind of vibe. Or if you had to just recommend 5 games,
They just randomly dig it up in your yard.
Yeah.
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 just dropped in a rug underground.
It'd be easy to say, oh, Borderlands, because I love Borderlands, but like, what video game app? First, if video games had to be remade and rediscovered, what
Mhm.
video game is like the video game?
Yeah,
To put
And
out there.
It's
Oh,
I
that's
always
so
ask
tough.
5 because people get really, really like stuck around 3. They panic. So like they'll either do like here's my 2, and then they get stuck on 3, or they'll be easy here's 3, and then they realize they only have 2
I feel like
more,
you
and they
asked me
panic.
this last time too,
I did, and
so
you
now I'm
panicked.
trying to remember my answer.
I
Mine
feel
change
like-
every time.
Okay, so thinking about it, I feel like it has to be a simple game like Tetris or something. Like, if you put a very complex game, in a time capsule, and then somebody who never plays video game, like my dad, for example, just jumping on like Borderlands, he'd be like, "What is going on? There's too much going on.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?" So
I
something
was thinking
simple,
Minesweeper.
Tetris or Minesweeper, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tetris is actually
Just-
one that multiple devs have put on. When I ask this at like bars and stuff, like executive
Or
producers
Pong.
at games will be like Tetris. Like that
Mhm.
is such a standard for gaming.
It's like a very old game, simple, and like keeps you busy. The mind's stimulated. It's just like, I feel like that would be one of the games.
I got 4 out of my 5 answers. I'm trying to think of my 5th one.
What were your 4? I don't remember what you said last
So
time either.
far, I don't remember either. So far, I got Borderlands 2, The Binding of Isaac,
Solid.
Smash Brothers.
Okay.
Not sure which one.
Oh, yeah.
And dang, I already forgot my 4th. Oh, this one's super biased, but Ocarina of Time.
Okay. I can fuck
Those
with that.
are
I like the
probably-
game, but it's just not my favorite.
I'm trying to think of what my 5th one is. I feel like I should go with something like super simple, like Minesweeper. Can I say
May-
chess? Does that count?
I mean, it's not a video game, but you can.
I mean,
It's your time capsule.
Yeah. One game I'm kind of biased on, that's one of the older games that I absolutely loved, was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!
Amazing.
Like,
oh my
oh
god.
it had
God.
mechanics. It's like, hey, I
Yeah.
remember playing it, and my brother was just like destroying the game. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And he's like, oh, just watch this guy's like the bead on his like head will like blink, and that's when he's gonna attack. I'm like, whoa, dude, that's such a cool mechanic,
that's tough to learn. Yeah, that's
Fucking
cool.
NES, man. Insane.
It was just like there was like little mechanics for such an old game, and I'm like, that's so complex for a game that old. I don't know. I thought it was
Yeah.
really cool. Or Bald Bull, he does like the charge attack after.
That's a throwback,
Only
man.
person I know from that is Glass Joe, and I'm not even sure if he's real. Is that a
I don't
character
know.
from Punch Out?
I-
No, I'm thinking. Am I thinking someone else?
He's the first guy you
No,
find.
yeah, you're
He
thinking
does
the
the whole.
yeah.
I don't know. I can't recall. There's so many like iterations of the game.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to go with a platformer, one that's a middle ground between fun and rage. I'm gonna have to go with Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, I love that
Dude.
game.
Yes. Oh my God. I know speedrunners
Wumpa
that
Fruit.
came in. Insane.
Wumpa Fruit. Yeah,
It's
I
so
think
good.
that's my fifth answer right there.
Respect. I respect
That
that.
is a pretty good one.
Yeah. It's hard because there's so many like nostalgic ones I want to put on there, like SSX Tricky and like things like that. Like it'll just cycle depending on the day for me. Where I'm like, no, Portal 2 is a perfect game, and like go down the list of like these are games that like change me to my core, put it in here. Like these are the quote unquote best, not my favorite, but the best. Or then days where I'm just absolutely like Pac-Man. Pac-Man goes in here. No, no one touch me.
Right.
I never really cared for Pac-Man, the original, like, 2D one or whatever.
Yeah,
I
me
only
neither.
care
I
about
got
that
bored of
one.
I think it's
It is boring
Yeah.
and you can memorize it, and I've not let myself figure out how to like memorize it because then it takes it away. But like there was a free bar, or not free bar, but there's a bar here that had free arcade machines. That it was my favorite little place. It just recently closed. It was so sad. But they had walls of classic arcade machines that had like Donkey Kong and Galaga and stuff like that. But the Pac-Man, not Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man is the way to go. I get so dumb competitive when I'm drunk at for no reason. Like it is that and shuffleboard. I'm like drunk me is like down. I'm god at it, and I don't know why. So it has such a place in my heart for it. But it's a scary amount of competitive I get for a game that you literally can look up how to play a perfect game of.
Bring it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Just tequila shots and Pac-Man, baby.
There's one game. I'm trying to think about like games that are not popular whatsoever, but they were like fun. There's one NES game called Elevator Action.
Okay.
It's such a dumb game. It's like
elevator action.
Yeah, I'm
you're
looking
going
this
down
up.
elevators and dodging bullets. Where like if somebody shoots,
I love that.
you have to like crouch or like jump over the bullet and get down to your
Oh,
car at the bottom
okay.
of the hotel. It's a very cheesy game, but like
Mhm.
it's just I don't know. It was fun when I played it.
No, this
Yeah.
looks like something that would scratch my brain. Yeah.
Outside of that, I think that would be my picks. I don't know. Binding of Isaac definitely is a great game, and I don't know. Not everybody's a roguelike fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's a roguelike that could get everyone hooked, though. Like, no, it doesn't have to be the genre, but like things like Hades brings in a lot of people. You know, I feel like there's always an exception to a genre for people. You don't need a full-time
I'm
capsule
trying to
if you
think of
have
this
the
one
staples.
like NES game. I think it was called like Adventure or something, but you were just like a square, and you had to like find like keys and like bridges and stuff, and it was really weird.
Oh, that game? Yeah. Wasn't that like the first game that had like an Easter egg ever?
I think so, something like that. Because I was
I
just like, there's like no like direction, so you just kind of have to figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know if it was NES. I think it was like a very old system before that, or like some one-off, niche system.
Yeah. Yeah,
It might have been called Adventure. I forget.
something like that.
There was a
What was that
Sega
one
game.
game called?
Which game?
It was like a 2D game where you had like go through and there's skeletons and locked doors and stuff. Oh, dude, what is it called? It's like a very like famous game.
You ever play RuneScape, Jolts?
No, people really wanted me to play it. One of my buddies too, and I just said, I'm good. I'm
That's
good.
probably for the best.
I-
That is
yeah.
probably for the best.
I did
played.
play Adventure Quest.
I never played Adventure Quest. I
Okay.
did play RuneScape. There was a Super Nintendo game, or like it was a Sega Genesis game when I had it. That was like the dual test drive. That was like my first like driving game. That like I'm sure if I busted it out now, it would be absolutely broken. But I remember just being so into it at the time.
There was one goofy racing game I played, but it wasn't like car racing. You were like this little ball dude, and you'd race other ball dudes. What was it?
Ball dude racing ball
Uh,
dudes.
Hold on, I think Iggy's Wrecking Balls. This was the weirdest freaking race game.
Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like a weird platformer race game.
Oh,
and
this
you're,
looks.
like,
I was
playing,
picturing like a literal bald man, not like a little creature.
Oh no, not bald. But,
Yeah, I
yeah.
genuinely thought it was just like fucking like white bald men just running down the
No,
street.
it's got like some Mario Kart aspects where you could get like items to like mess with people and. there's,
Have
like,
either
weird
of you played
grappling
Rocket League?
mechanics.
I
I
a little
tried
bit.
it. I'm terrible at it.
I
I never got good at it.
I literally have never tried it, but I constantly just see like friends from childhood and everyone just constantly loading into it. And I feel like it's one of those games you have to sink an insane amount of hours into to be decent at. So I just have never opened it.
I tried the TCG Card Shop Simulator today.
Oh yeah, how was
How
it?
was that?
Why is it fun?
I'm thinking about getting it. I seen it said multiplayer on the Steam thing, but I don't think it has multiplayer. I hope they add it.
There's like
I
a
think
Twitch
I
integration thing with it. You can have like your viewers be the people who walk in, and they can like troll you and turn off the lights.
Oh,
And
that's
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh,
The reviews are
I might try that.
overwhelmingly positive. Oh, damn, that's rare. We love that.
It's a weird game that just blew up and took off. It's not
Let's
even really
go.
weird. It's just fun, you know.
I feel like
Mhm.
simulators can really hit the spot sometime. Like when they're just
Yeah.
weird enough, just specific enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we just need. I think you like coins, Jolts. Then we just need like a coin.
It was a
collection
time in
simulator.
2020 during the pandemic, but I mean, my main like side hobby would be like Pokemon cards, but even then, I
Oh,
barely
okay.
bought any.
Yeah.
It was a nostalgic thing. What's your take on Pokemon?
So I love it for what it is. I didn't play it growing up. I've never actually played a Pokemon game, and I've been exposed to it my whole life. Like my best friend growing up, he had like 300 cards and like a binder kind of thing that were like his prized possession. And I only recently played, it was a few PAXs ago. I ended up doing the play lab because one of my friends like, literally, you're coming here and you're having to figure out how to play this right now. And it was fun. But I have yet to ever have a breakthrough with it. Like I literally got a Switch because I wanted to play the port of some of the Borderlands games, and then and I had a few friends with games that they were like, "Hey, I played on Switch, let me know." And so I was going to try to get into Pokemon then, and then I could just never pick which game to start with, and so I just have yet to play it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like I played Pokemon Blue on Game
Nice.
Boy, and it was
Yeah.
like, you know, nowadays I don't care about the Pokemon games at all. I've heard, they're buggy
Yeah.
and they don't care about fixing up the game and whatnot. But like when I played Pokemon Blue, it's just like my pastime
That
as a
was-
kid. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, dang, we got to drive to the store. I'm gonna play my Game Boy.
Who'd
like,
you
yeah.
pick as your starter?
Yeah,
I do miss my Game Boy.
Squirtle.
Yo, me too. No way.
I had Pokemon Blue, so I was like, oh, Blastoise, I'm gonna play Squirtle.
Yeah,
I was
My
gonna
brother
say
had
Gas-
Pokemon Red. He
color.
picked Charmander.
Guess that
Yeah.
tracks for you being Squirrel. I could see the Jolt Squirrel vibe is there, but Gas, that does not surprise me at all for some reason. Even with your Jigglypuff shit, like it just Squirtle absolutely sounds right.
Yeah. I still have my copies too, and people are like, dude, that's worth some money. I'm like, I'm not selling it.
No, it's mine. Like fuck off. Like
Yeah.
no,
Right.
I want it for me to play on my Game Boy.
See Nintendo starting to crack down on people emulating their stuff.
I heard
Yeah,
about that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I can't
That's-
support them anymore.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I like Pokemon. I just don't really like Nintendo. It's
Nah.
oh no, they're keeping the game that you don't sell anymore alive. What are we gonna do?
yeah.
Right. It's just
Demonetize
weird.
the hell out of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what their angle is. I mean, they've canceled like Smash tournaments because they were using like
That
modded
was the-
online during COVID, dude. That was
Yeah.
wild.
That was the first nail in the coffin for Nintendo. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I don't play their games anymore ever. I don't know. I mean, I had
On
good
top
times
of
with
that, their
Nintendo.
console is terrible.
Yeah, it's
That
all
doesn't
just
surprise me.
Their own games.
tech-wise.
Yeah.
I still remember they had Black Ops 1 for like PlayStation, all that stuff. And then they had a Wii port, and I'm like, why does it look awful? It looks so downgraded. It's like they have to because that's what their system can run.
I don't think I
Mhm.
ever beat a single game on the Wii. Like I still own my Wii somewhere in a closet somewhere, and I would just start them, and I could never get through a single one.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I really played games that were like really beatable. I play like, Super Smash Brothers and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you can beat them, but like they don't really have like that ending.
There's not like an end
Really?
game. It's not like playing like I forget which Trauma Center, whatever it was, Second Opinion or something like that. It was some surgeon game.
Yeah.
Things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I would get into it, and then it would just get to a point where the technology just wasn't where it needed to be for it, I feel like, and I would just get too frustrated. But yeah, I have noticed that with my Switch. I was like, people were like, you have to get a Switch, and then I did, and I'm just kind of like underwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I just don't really play portables anymore. It's like if I want to play a high quality thing, and it's usually going to be on PC.
Yeah.
Like when I'm out and about, it's like I am usually on my phone on Twitter or like something will keep me distracted, but I don't sit there and play games anymore.
I
Like
gaslight
portables.
myself that I'll use my Switch on an airplane every time I'm on flight, and then I get on an airplane, and then I either work or I'm too
Ugh.
tired to pull the Switch, or I will
Yeah.
just sit there try to pick
Yeah.
a game and just don't play it.
I just watch a movie instead.
Yeah. Yeah, Steam Deck I feel like I would use, but more for like travel stuff. And if I'm like lazy and want to keep playing Baldur's Gate in bed kind of thing rather than over here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I wouldn't like do a whole new Borderlands playthrough on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I start a run, I gotta finish the run.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I wish that were me. I either hyperfixate on it or I start it and forget it. If you could have one wish for BL4. I'm gonna say BL3. One thing for BL4 that you just like absolutely be like, they absolutely knocked this out of the park, what would it be?
Dedicated farming.
Yeah.
Dedicated farming.
I knew you
I'm
both were gonna
copying
say
Jill,
that.
don't
I
care.
literally knew. I was like, well, I could just make them talk about runs. You could just be like, hey, challenge run, go, and you guys would just sit here if I needed to.
Make farming good.
Make farming good again.
Give us the ability to route a run.
Yeah,
Let us plan the run.
yeah. One complaint I have is like, you know, if you're gonna have 4 to 6 playable Vault Hunters, you got to make the story fun and replayable. If you want people to actually replay the story, you know.
Yeah.
Or sorry, play the Vault Hunters.
Yeah.
You know what? If Joltz is gonna go with the designated drops, I'm gonna have to go with a dialogue skip.
That
honestly.
would be nice.
I don't know where they went wrong, because BL1 and BL2, you were always moving towards an objective.
Well,
And
BL1 didn't
now
really
BL
stop you at all. It was just like, hey,
Yeah.
go collect food.
Again,
Yeah.
BL1 forgot it had a story. It just,
Yeah, it really
the story
doesn't.
just kind of happens.
BL3, it just stops you and you gotta wait, and the waiting
Yeah, it's
really kills it, you know?
I know. It's just like, hey, Vault Hunter, can you go get those toenail clippers over there? But before you do, let me go ahead and tell you a story about my great grandfather. It's like the whole Grandma Torch side mission
Yeah.
on every Vault Hunter. It's like,
Okay,
Yeah.
that is how Typhon feels, though.
if you were to swap out Lilith with Grandma Torg and she did the raid side mission dialogue, there would be no difference.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, I just hope they get the flow right, the balance
same.
right, everything
Same.
right.
I'm hopeful.
Shall I see that gameplay?
That is true.
Till I see that gameplay.
It's okay. I'll be hopeful for everyone, and then worst case, everyone has BL2 and BL3 still, so it's there. But I think it'll be good. I'm excited, but gameplay will come, and I'm hoping it is a new era for Borderlands. Like when franchises go on for a bit and they have to reinvent themselves and how they do it for a while, like Grand Theft Auto, Resident Evil, you need that elevation at a point, and I'm really hoping we're there with Borderlands.
Yeah. Now,
For sure.
are you one of the people who like has to play the siren if it's, you know, a siren's introduced as a Vault Hunter?
No, I just didn't gravitate to it. Like it definitely comes down to like the style of the skill. It sounds like I was a Roland main, and I say main in the 2 times I've played it, but BL1 I played Roland, and I haven't actually done a Lilith playthrough at all. And people keep going, oh, you'll love it, and it just wasn't there for me. I did main Amara. I now think I prefer woes. Zane was fun though. I was doing him for the hunt, and so I'm not a loyalist to starting with that. I do feel like naturally I will gravitate to starting with a new playable siren unless there is like something cool. Like I loved playing Nisha. I loved playing Athena. I loved playing Aurelia. And so someone like that could win me over it. It comes down to the flexibility of the skill. And I think that's why like I'm a Thought-Lock truther. Like I really love that type of mechanic in the game, and it's so creative that I think that there are just new ways to play it that way, which is why I normally gravitate to that. But Amaris didn't hit that for me in the same way.
Yeah, for Borderlands 1, like I remember I would pick like the bronze, strong-looking characters, so I did choose Brick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
I
then
always
Borderlands
went for-
2, Salvador, and then, or actually no, Borderlands 2 first character was Zero. I can't recall why, but then I played Sal after, and I'm like, dude, Sal's my guy. And then
Yeah.
I think the reason why I went Black in BL3 is because I think this was the first time we actually got to see the skill trees before the game came out,
Yeah.
and like decide off that to like know what you want to play or what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I decided on Black.
I've never been really good at the companion character kind of stuff. Like, and so Flack has just always been one that I keep telling myself, like, that's one you just need to, like, start a new run and do it. But the beginning of BL3 is just such an effort to get through that I can't make myself start a new character again. But Flack, I have absolutely slept on a skill tree. Like, I can't tell you really anything about it. But the people I know who do play Flack only play Flack. Like, they love them so much.
Yeah, I just find it more enjoyable because, like, release date, like, it was the whole, hey, there's a pet gimmick, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe this will be fun. And also, I did see the whole, like, automatic crit thing, and I was like, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got to play the gameplay reveal, you know, event or whatever. And we found the whole sticky Torg shotguns and Megabore and Leave No Trace infinite combo, like, looping that over and over. And I'm like, dude, this is so fun. So Black just like became my character, and I played him at launch, and yeah, he's kind of stuck with me.
That's entirely fair.
Before BL3, I always thought like a Skag Tamer type character would be cool. So when I seen he had 3 different pets, I was like, all right, that's got to be the first one I play. But I usually played like the soldier type.
Yeah.
I did Axton and Roland. TPS I did Claptrap because that was goofy, but
yeah, same. I did that too. Claptrap was my
Claptrap.
favorite.
No, absolutely incorrect. Wrong answer is bad.
Well, when you're playing
No.
solo, it's like funny.
It's so annoying. It's just, oh my god, Claptrap. Want to punch him in the face.
I remember playing with a buddy and I rushed the high five skill because I was like, bro, we gotta do this because we're friends, dude. We're buddies. We gotta high five
me, bro.
That's valid and fair. The dialogue. I'm a lore bitch. It's the dialogue for everyone else is way more fun for me.
I still remember like discovering the high-fiving enemies to activate the skill, and I'm like,
yeah,
you could do that? What the heck?
I thought it was so cool when Claptrap's like still counts. I was like, yo, they planned for this.
I just love that Claptrap actually is like the meta choice for speedruns for him. Like it just wilds me.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Speed and damage. Whoever's that character, the speedrunners are playing that first.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a speedrunner. I just like to efficiently play through the game.
Yeah.
And then occasionally do speedrun stuff for fun.
Yeah.
But I'll never compete for, like, world record or nothing. I don't have, that gameplay loop in me to redo the story that many times back to back.
Yeah, no.
It's a very linear route once and it's like, I want to switch it up.
It's fine. I just make things impossible for me to beat for no reason and then embarrass myself doing it. It's a lot of fun. So you be efficient, Gas be stubborn, and I'll just be an idiot. And I think it works.
Nothing wrong with that, though, as long as you're having fun playing the game.
Yeah, fun's what matters.
It is what matters, and it's fine. And I tell people all the time, there are so many people who are so efficient at it, and I am efficient in different ways, but it's whatever, however you just have fun with the games. It doesn't matter. I'm brave enough to be bad at Borderlands in public. That's my vibe.
Like, I've had a couple of streams I jumped into, and the person's like, oh, hey, what's up, Joltz? And I'm like, oh, what's up? And I just watch them play the game. And then it's happened a couple times. They're like, you can backseat, by the way. And I'm like, all right. Start typing out like, hey, expect this. I'm all down for helping out somebody if they want it.
I love that. Like, that's the
you always got the backseat pass.
I say
I will not backseat unless they ask.
You are to thank for me learning about my favorite weapon. I would have never thought to use the orc for like crazy swaps until one time I was just struggling on Bandit Krieg, ready to give up. And you're like, have you tried the orc? And I remember it. I orc swapped Bada Boom through Kino's mom, and I was like, this is my new favorite gun. And now I just vouch for the orc all the time.
It's so good. What is it? Fire rate, reload speed, extra projectile,
extra projectiles, bouncing ricochet. Projectiles, yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I think there's like one that's just a flat damage boost of like 50%.
Yeah, 17% per stack.
Yeah. Or yeah.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
But actually I didn't discover that. Like for me, when I used the orc, I thought it was only just like a fire rate boost and reload speed thing, and that was it. And then Kai TW, he's a one lifer. For Borderlands 2. He showed like the true power of it with I think Porter Salvador. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I saw there was so much more to the orc than just like reload speed, fire rate. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean to get bonus damage? And then we found out like how broken it is if you stack it.
Hell yeah.
So he showed me that, and I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Shout out to Kai.
Shout out to Kai. But yeah, I remember you telling me about that, and I was like, yo, this changes everything. And now anytime anyone asks, I just orc. It's my favorite.
It's really busted.
I feel like Borderlands 2 is just busted sometimes.
I feel like if you don't play it for like a stupid amount of time or like look up how to do things, you're not going to know about any of that kind of stuff.
No, but that's the beauty of
that's like the beauty, and that's also like sometimes like the a lot of people say Axton's bad. I just don't think they understand how Axton works, and I don't blame them for not knowing how Axton works, because unless you look up Demon Knight's splash guide chart, you don't know what guns deal grenade damage,
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a something that they should teach better or like have better implemented. Like you're not gonna like look at skills on the skill tree first time and know if those things are multiplicative or additive with other skills.
I'm telling you, that's why the vibes
unintended bonus to it.
Vibes run, maybe it's the way to do it.
Exactly. Imagine all the class mods that lie to you in this game, and I don't know.
The cards are just coded wrong.
They throw numbers at you, but no calculations.
Yeah. It really is just like one skill point at a time and see like what it's doing, and then check the number, check the math out.
Yeah.
And inspect, other skill point with that skill, and it's like, ooh, I got a little more damage, or I got a stupid amount more, so this must be doing more than what it says or being multiplicative. And,
yeah,
this is the nerd stuff, but, people search for that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
No, that's
They
the
want to
fun
know
of
about
it.
that in the game.
It's definitely the fun of it for me. Why I do some of the like really dumb, like I'm gonna make this somewhat impossible on me at first and make myself learn this a different way, where I'll be like, okay, swapping this one skill over, how much has this changed? Let me run back and do this now when I'm trying to prove something to myself. And it's just a really, I don't know, painful but fun way to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, with Borderlands having bajillions of guns, maybe not bajillions, but a lot of guns, it's hard to test every skill combination with every gun. Like, there might still be, like, stuff we don't know about, some interaction. Like, for example, like, Zane and BL3 with the Eraser and the Creamer, it's like, that specific combo destroys everything. Like, you gotta fall upon that combo and, like, try it out for yourself one day on accident and then find out it's brokenly OP and everybody needs to know kind of thing.
Most of my favorite builds I found out by accident, yeah.
So I wonder how many more BL2 glitches we'll find.
Here's hoping.
What was the last one we found? The stacking kill skill glitch?
Stacking kill. We also got Deliverance Bada Boom. There's something I'm searching into now. I don't know if you've seen the unique TDR reload. Not doing unique TDR reload tech.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
That thing also makes it. That thing also makes it. If you do the same setup, it will make it so you can't get Grog or Orc stacks. It also makes it so the Tulane doesn't slag you, and it also makes it so the crit won't fall out of your hands. So it almost It almost just cancels out some like gimmicks. I've been calling it like gimmick canceling, but some things don't work. Like you maybe like, oh, maybe it works with Orphan-Maker. You don't take damage, but you still take damage. So I don't know what exactly it does, but there's some stuff you could probably, or I still want to test with it, but nothing super useful. So I haven't really brought it up to anybody.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when you find a glitch and you're like, dude, this is cool, and it's like, wait, it has no use.
Wow, the Tulane doesn't slag you. Now we can use that, right, guys?
Yeah, why use, the slag anymore? Come on now.
Okay, what is the favorite dumb run you've probably done? Because you both have done so many of your creative, insane, what gas I know we've talked about before where people just like think you're masochist, and it's like, no, it's part of just like the completionist of doing it. But I feel like you have to have a favorite because I associate some specific ones with you, and same with you, Joltz, but there's much more order to yours. But I'm betting there's overlap here with both of you.
I know mine, but you can go first.
It's probably like the craziest answer, but the minimap run honestly felt like I was playing Borderlands 2 for the first time again. I don't know how to explain it. It was like, dude, I don't even know how to explain it. I think
like you don't focus on the minimap that much, so you kind of learned so much by just like using the minimap only.
Yeah. And it's like I had like muscle memory and like ideas of like where stuff went, and if I haven't played Borderlands 2 before, I feel like that would have been impossible.
Yeah.
Might as well do it blindfolded at that point. But that one was honestly so much fun, and I think about going back to it sometimes.
You also used like sound cues too, didn't you?
Yeah, sound cues, and then just had the cardboard on my screen.
It's fucking insane.
Honestly, I think listening for the sound cues was one of the coolest parts.
It's honestly impressive the ideas you have for the runs you do.
Well, that run literally stemmed from me playing as like a Bloodsplosion melee Krieg and like looking for enemies on the minimap because I couldn't see anything. And then I was like, valid. You know what? Hold on. I'm onto something here.
Do it for BL3.
Honestly,
Oh, no.
I just listen. The day you validated my Bloodwing rage was like, my God, I felt so right. It was the best week. Like all I needed, all the little head pets I needed.
Figure out what makes Bloodwing resist fire through.
Yeah,
other phases.
What is that glitch there? I don't fucking know. But no, if you had your minimap BL3 rage, I would feel validated. It would be the same feeling because my hatred for that minimap is so real.
Oh my gosh.
I think that would be good.
I don't even remember what the BL3 minimap looks like.
It's dumb.
I know they have like elevation, or the enemies have like the arrow if they're up or down.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember it now. Yeah, because it kind of goes based off of your elevation. I think I remember it now.
Joltz, what's your favorite run?
Gunless Axton.
Nice. I've yet to
like
brave
Borderlands being known for guns, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna beat the game without that core mechanic, and then you got to OP10 and everything, and it was like, dude, turret and grenades are dumb, if you know how to build around it.
Yeah. I do really like the grenades in 2. I feel like it's partly why I shy away from some of the skills in 3 that like take away your grenade because it's just such a muscle memory for my playstyle at this point.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to get the antagonist too, and I'm like, I gotta farm crystals, so we had to kill Hyperius with turrets only.
Yeah.
So I found like that cool out of bounds where you can just like stand in one spot and throw turrets and just wait.
Yeah.
It took forever, but I mean like the fact that it could be done, and then gate crush key with your singularity grenade for all the crystals, like everything just lined up so perfectly for it. I'm like, this needs to be like a more popular run for people who want to like have a fun challenge.
If you already had an antagonist, could you reflect kill him using the turret, or that'd be way too goofy. That'd be like a 1 in a million.
I don't know.
Because it's usually shotguns that are in gemstone ones, just a bunch of pellets at once.
Yeah. I think when the turret shoots him, it goes straight back to the turret, so you'd have to like somehow perfectly intervene that.
I know some bullet reflections go towards like the nearest like friendly player, like
maybe it works like that. I don't know.
If you're fighting like Dukino, you can have your turrets closer to Dukino, and the bullets will go towards the turrets instead.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
But
I don't know. I had fun with the run, you know, like farming every grenade I could and getting the best shields I could, and class mod synergy, and there was a lot to it that I was like, wow, there's, it wasn't like a very linear, boring run. It was like there was so many options for that, more than you would think.
Yeah, but challenge your creativity for sure, and your knowledge of the game at the bare minimum.
I mean, that does come in to help a lot. If you did not know like where to farm things or what synergies to do, you'd be pretty bored or lost, I think. What about you?
Oh God, none.
Yeah, what about
you? It sounds so lame compared to like we're talking these like really specific, you need to know all of this knowledge kind of run, and those are fun. Like I really like fibber only kind of stuff. Like just something that feels completely pointless to need to do. But I really liked doing my recent like vibes run of just the Vault Hunters I've just ignored for so long. Where I just had to figure out the base knowledge of Borderlands from what I'm guessing their skill tree is, and not look at the skill and figure it out, because it did make it very like I'm paying attention to the damage I'm doing. I'm paying attention to what my skills are timing out as, what's actually stacking. And it wasn't even like the goal to be efficient, but it was just to make me try different builds that I normally wouldn't for characters I didn't have shit memorized on. And so it did feel kind of like how Gas was saying with the mini map run, where it felt like the playing for the first time again. It let me feel both good in what I could figure out, and like, yeah, okay, obviously like I got really spoiled by movement speed here, like I need, better reload speed over here, weapon swap is not as crucial on this character or whatever, at least at the bits I was doing. But it challenged me to find just that place between like playing the game comfortably and using the same stuff I always do to just kind of like get through a run, and having like, you know what, fuck it, we do it live kind of vibe. And it just opened up the game in a new way for me.
Yeah, anybody to play different, I mean, it just really opens up your eyes and makes you understand, like, do I really have enough hours in this game, or do I need to learn more?
That's the thing. It was like, it let me like, there's always more. I'm like, yeah, this has never been something that I've been like, I'm master of XYZ. Like I refer people to YouTube all the time. When people come in and ask me something, like, God, that they will explain this way better. Go to them. And it's fun to figure stuff like that out, but it is a type of run that does let you flex that Borderlands knowledge you do have and figure out creative ways around stuff. And then you just also kind of feel like an idiot, but there's no wrong way to do it. And I feel like that's the pressure on a lot of these like one lives or, runs like that, where clearly there is something that ends a run, or there is something that is breaking a rule in a run. And this is just, it was such a weird, started as a joke way to force me to just do things I never would normally do on characters, and learn how to like grenade jump or learn better stuff on Sal. And those were just a lot of fun. Though the Rainbow Run was a lot of fun, like doing the rarity like kind of up as you go through everything was a lot of fun, because that also makes me try, like, I didn't realize how quickly I needed to level up white guns, because I was so used to using just green and blue guns on the low level runs, and that really sucked. And wow, there was a part where that got really difficult, and those parts matter when they're that low, and I didn't expect it to matter that much. So things like that were a lot of fun.
Yeah, the damage increase in rarity is pretty substantial.
Yeah, and you until you limit yourself to only white gear, you don't realize how much that sucks at the toil and trouble phase, where you're just like, oh, wow, white guns do fucking suck. It's not just that you find better guns, it's that white guns just suck at a point. And I had never had to care about parts that specifically, especially not in early levels, because that was the normal mode, was white rarity. And it was just a nightmare. But in a fun way. It was a new kind of frustrating. And I like that better than like the manufacturer kind of run. Because it did let me make myself use assault rifles and stuff like that, because I will never touch an assault rifle if I don't have to in BL2. BL3, fine. Yeah. But I hate them in BL2.
I think it'd be really cool if in BL4 they added the, hey, you can select a challenge mode and, you know, it auto like sets you to 1 life, or like in-game 1 life, and then her allegiance runs or whatever. Like, have the game take care of
that would be cool.
Gimmick side.
I would love an allegiance
niche thing, but I wish that I feel like allegiance runs are kind of like a big part of just like probably one of the first things people think of when you think of like a Borderlands challenge. I kind of hope BL4 sets up for those in a better way, because BL3 could do them, but like a lot of manufacturers didn't have like shields and like
3 manufacturers for shields.
There's only 3 even.
Yeah, it's a very entry level you know, challenge run for anybody, and anybody could do it.
Yeah, and like I think K6, how he does it is he usually just goes with the shield manufacturers like Pangolin and Anshin. But I feel like that's such a tiny thing to ask for BL4, but I feel like something like that would be great. I feel like that might be just like a cool little additive thing if they brought back like every manufacturer having at least a shield and like a grenade or something. Well, maybe not Jacobs, but
but like,
and then maybe some incentive too, like, you know, you beat the, you know, built-in Vladoff allegiance, and then you get a cool Vladoff trinket, or maybe a unique item, Vladoff item at the end of the run.
A unique item or weapon skin.
To do it.
Yeah, like the unique manufacturer weapon skin, or a specific rarity gun that you can only get from doing that, or like that even trinket, because then you can carry it through. It's like, it feels more that PvP style of, this is my trophy.
The public lobby and you see someone with the 1 life skin and you know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh wow,
you beat that. That'd be cool actually.
Yeah, like when I see a widow and like the very, very first like pre-order skin, I'm like, okay, well, fuck it, pack it up. Like, it's fine. Yeah. That kind of vibe. I think it would be cool. Yeah, having the permadeath option, having a manufacturer like playthrough. I feel like that would be, I say easy in a hand wave armchair dev way, but like I feel like that would be something at least moddable at the very least, like only let these manufacturers drop. But even having a built-in mod manager like organically in the game would be cool. Baldur's Gate just put one in there for that when they're like taking their hands off. So yeah, maybe even when they're like, hey, we're stopping as frequent updates or support, having something like that built in would be cool. But again, then it's still the gatekeeping of getting things approved on console, but that is a path to getting some mods on console. And so
I get that comment so often. It's like, man, I wish I could play this mod on PlayStation 3 or, you know, PS4. And it's like, sorry, man, you know, PC.
I still haven't really done a BL2 mod. Like, I have a few downloaded that I haven't actually done a modded run.
There's a lot of fun ones.
I know, and like you've built some and like things like that where I'm like, I have so many downloaded, or like they're just always like disabled. Like even like the community patch and stuff like that. Like I've never actually just casually had on and done, because I was in the middle of a run when I moved to PC, and I was like, okay, I'll like play with these in a bit, and then I just never did, because I'm so set on my ways from PlayStation, and I needed to rip off the Band-Aid, because there are some really creative fucking mods. Even like epics, like Mordecai one for BL3 he keeps posting about. Like there are so many cool ones. I know there used to be one, I don't know if it's still active, but where you could play as Lilith in BL2. Like
it's still a thing.
Yeah. And so I keep getting told so many, I'm like, that's absolutely something that I would have tried years ago if it were available on console, and I get the complications of that. But I do think just having that kind of community section in the game like would be helpful.
Yeah, and not to mention, you know, like just not all mods are crazy. Like some are just like quality of life things, where
some are like, quality of life or cosmetic.
It actually recently Decepticons made a mod for what they did for BL3, the whole like, hey, look at loot, sell button on the ground. And I'm like, dude, that's in Borderlands 2? That's so cool now.
Wait, Decepticons?
Yeah, he made it, and I was like, wait, I didn't know you mod stuff.
Oh
yeah.
Shit. I thought you misspoke. Honestly, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then he made it to where, like, if you accidentally sell an item, it just goes to the vendor and you can, like, buy it back.
Yo, that's so cool.
Yes. There's so many good ones. I don't even know, like, where to start.
I just recently found the there's a more than 5 players mod that I was messing with that works in this day and age.
Nice.
Yeah.
I get asked a lot about like speaking of manufacturer runs, like a specific manufacturer vending machine mod. I get asked that one a lot. But I feel like even having that there would be just helpful to get spotlight on creators and community and building that replayability and engagement with people. So I'm all for it. But yeah, I don't know if that mod actually is functional or exists. I just know it's been asked about a lot.
Yeah, we talked about it a long time ago, but it's just like it's doable. You just replace the torque vendor, make a clone of it, and then lock it to specific items.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be really cool if we could like texture replace, and I think you
wasn't there a
the
texture mod? He never finished it, right? Like I remember seeing you post about it like a year or two ago.
The guy was like gonna help out, and then like he just kind of disappeared, and we're like, oh man, how did you do it? But yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know. You have to be creative when it comes to modding. When Borderlands 2.
I know. I haven't even touched it.
Probably with Roguelands, honestly.
That was an ambitious project, but like I was like, dude, nobody's doing map editor stuff. I'm going to do it, and then I spent way too long working on that. It was like 6 months, but I mean, we were working like relentlessly every day on it. We're pretty happy with it.
How many others? 4 or 5?
It was mainly Pyrex, me, and Juso. Okay. And then a lot of like other people helped on the side, like Seda, Exotech, and
shout out to Pyrex. He's helped me with some mods. Cool dude.
Yeah, he's does some crazy stuff. Like he came at me like with the idea, like basically Roguelands was a idea, and I'm like, hey, what if we did this to Borderlands 2? And nobody's really on board with it. And then one day I get a DM about from Pyrex, and he's like, hey, I think I can help you. And I'm like, yo, let's do this.
Hell yeah.
And then it just snowballed and took off, and I'm like, yo, I did not know you had this like modding capability. You're insane.
Mm-hmm.
He's very humble. It's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. I'm like, bro, you did it.
No, it was it was impressive. It was massive.
Absolute legend.
A lot of it was honestly surprising. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think we were getting this crazy with it.
Yeah, the map editing is kind of jank, but I mean, if we could build custom terrain, it'd be like the game changer, but we can't. And then enemies, walk through walls. We can't, like, there's a lot of like mechanics in the game we can't like rewrite or fix. But we did our best, and it turned out really, really, solid.
Borderlands 2 is already a little jank, and it's a 12-year-old game. Like, I mean, you're doing the Lord's work with what you can with it anyway. I feel like I just will forever find like a new place I get stuck on the map, like between frame rate or whatever. But that step going into Crimson Raider HQ will be the bane of my existence. Like little things in the game, I'm like, why is this still a problem? But I love it. I love how broken it is.
Joltz, have you ever tried getting grog really freaking early?
Yeah, what was it? The Skeleton Kings are just a nightmare.
Yeah.
They take way too long. I did the 3 dragons. I let Roland do that. It took forever.
There's new tech for the dragons. If you're Axton, you can throw your turret way deep into the death barrier, and you could trick the dragons to fly into it. And they discovered a little bit of tech for the Ghost Kings where your character has to help. If you shoot the Ghost King, Roland will, like 9 times out of 10, throw out his turret if he hasn't. And it's really weird because when the Ghost Kings are a skull, you can shoot the skull and nothing will happen. But if you start shooting at the bodies, Roland will like frequently throw out his turret and deal like significant damage. We were going to do some more labbing into it and see how viable it is, but yeah, it was really some crazy stuff we were testing out. We were trying to do it in a one life. That was a bad idea, but
yeah, that no.
You can actually like when you're fighting the 3 dragons, wait for them to like fly downwards and then keep jumping, and their AI will like think, oh, I can't, stop moving in one direction now, and then have them fly into the void.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 barriers that keep me from really fucking around in Dragon's Keep and figuring out new stuff to do, because I fucking hate the Skeleton Kings and I hate the dragons. They're
not like the whole combat in that game or that DLC is not good.
The lack of second wins on the Immortal Skeletons and shit like that. Like it was so close to being something I loved.
They love that DLC until they play it.
That's the thing. I think it's overrated. I do. Like I appreciate for what it is, and I think there's a lot of good about it, but like it just it infuriates me in such a specific way.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful like scenery, and then like a nice what is it item pack, and that's kind of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody likes the Ancient Dragons, nobody likes the Magic Slaughter, but like the items and stuff are just so good.
Yeah,
and not to mention all the immune phases, like Spider, or what is it, the Sorcerer's Daughter, 3 immune phases, Handsome Sorcerer, long 3 phases, and it's very slow gameplay.
What are the crit spots in that DLC? Are they butts? Because I shoot butts and the butts don't crit.
For which one?
So if you play a 0, and sometimes you could see, like, when you have like I think it's Boar, it highlights crit spots.
Yeah.
A lot of the knights just have it on their butt, and sometimes you could shoot their butt and like it will crit, but it's not every time.
I know the knights, like if you shoot them, their armor will like break off, but like their heads should crit, I think.
Is it? Dude, I don't know. I feel like I can't hit crits, even on just like orcs where it's like that's obviously your head.
It might be
There's so many jokes I could be making right now, but I won't. I'm the bigger person, I won't do it.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I've never noticed that.
Weird.
I've never noticed that. I don't know. I just get frustrated and then just will spam fire and then yell at the Skeleton Kings and curse too much. And then
I thought it was like a Tina joke, like, haha, get shot in the butt.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was the butt for a crit spot in Wonderlands. Or not Wonderlands, in Dragon Sea. Wonderlands 2 wouldn't surprise me. But
or what was it in BL3, the Tyrene fight? You're supposed to punch back the purple rocks, but like nobody ever figured that out.
Yeah.
Until the developer mentioned it. It was like the border cast, like they had somebody on, and like Tyrene throws down the purple like rocks on the arena. You can use your Iridium Fabricator to like punch them back, but they're only like there for they're there for like a second or two before they disappear, and so like nobody ever really figured out that mechanic until
just dodge the attack.
Yeah.
When you first beat BL3, did you think the moon just got like a big Firehawk symbol on it, or did you think the moon disappeared?
I thought she destroyed Elpis.
You thought she destroyed it. Okay, because for the longest time, I thought she just like locked it in place or like turned it off using.
Just gave it a tattoo. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, wait, the moon's not there anymore? And I looked, I see clouds behind the emblem. I'm like, wait, what?
They did kind of make it a circle, and it was
I think it was the circle around it that was confusing, because I think the images I see of it, like my brain goes like, it's like branded on Elpis now, but I know it's not there. But yeah, it's a little confusing with that. A lot of people still are like, wait, we don't know Lilith's alive, or Lilith died in 3. Like, I'm like, this has been like publicly talked about multiple times at this point. Like, the ending of 3 just missed a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, there's a, in the credits, it shows Tannis with a, bulletin board or something, and she's like, where's Lilith? And there's all these like lines thing, connections, like trying to find her.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's confirmed in the director's cut with Ava. Yeah.
No, it was confirmed before that. The border cast, the guy, somebody asked a question, the viewer questions, like, is Lilith dead? And then he was like, oh, Lilith's gone for now. So that kind of just confirmed it right there, like, she's not dead.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't know, a year after the game came out? I can't recall.
Jeez.
It was like pretty fast after.
Time makes no fucking sense anymore. I have no concept of it. Like, zero.
Yeah.
Guess, I think I asked you, were you at the gameplay reveal or like the streamer playthrough for BL3?
No.
Oh.
I was accidentally there. I was there. I was there.
I don't think I knew you at the time.
No, I didn't even stream at the time. I didn't know who any of you were. I didn't anything, but I fucking was obsessed with Borderlands and work on cosplays and stuff like that. But I worked at the gallery at that hotel at the time, and I came into work one day and I was like, oh, they're just filming Real Housewives or something. It's like all barricaded off, like cool, like it happens. And I walked in and I like as I got closer, I just kept seeing like yellow fonts. I was like, that kind of looks Borderlands. I walked in and I saw something Gearbox in the corner. I was like, wait, holy shit. And then I was like working like a 12-hour shift that day. So I was sitting there just like vibing. But I ended up leaving with two of the swag packs because people were buying shit. But I feel like so much by osmosis, it's just like the conversations I was looking at. People felt really excited at that reveal. And I'm hoping for something as similar, at least on the side that I got to see from it. Like clearly wasn't up in like with the computers and everything. But the vibe afterwards, like it genuinely felt like there was just like a hype energy around it. And I hope they put that love into BL4 reveal stuff.
Yeah, I think it'll be different this time around. Like, Borderlands 3 reveal was huge. You know, it's like, what was that? 7 years after Borderlands 2. Like, there was an insane amount of hype. I mentioned it before, but like K6 and I, we were in the audience watching the, trailer reveal. This would have been PAX, I think.
Yeah.
I can't recall. It was some event. So, yeah. And when they showed the trailer, like, our eyes got watery. We were like, dude, this is reality. This is happening.
Yeah.
And the whole like audience is screaming and cheering, and I'm like, this is insane. Like, you know how like when you hear like a concert and it's like super loud music and you're just like, holy crap, this is like overwhelming, like it's like in a good way. It's like it was like that moment. I'm just like, oh, this is so cool. But this time around, when it comes to BL4, I think the hype's going to be different. We're trying to see if it's like the game or not. Like there's a lot of like let's wait until we see it. I don't know. Maybe they'll surprise us.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get that like crazy energy.
We're not expecting anything.
Yeah. There's a time and place.
Would surprise you guys? Like, what would be something that they could do in like a reveal that you're like, holy shit, I'm excited.
I mean, it's got to have like the Borderlands feel, but have a new take. Smooth frame rate.
Honestly, if it was optimized and not like super buggy, like I know patch. Honestly, I hope the balance is good because the nerf apocalypse, buff apocalypse, all that was pretty wacky on it. And I feel like if they can nail Endgame and make it fun for everybody, which I think is possible, then that's it right there. That's it.
Yeah. I feel like they test up, like, I don't know how QA does their testing, but like, I feel like they test up for non-endgame levels, like non-OP levels, non-mayhem levels, and then when they release, level cap upgrade or the mayhem levels or whatever, or people get into that, that's where the balance always falls apart. So I'm hoping they really iron that out before release.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I feel like all that's hard to see like in a reveal trailer anyway, like unless they're on stage explicitly going like, yes, and the frame rate and optimization of it. Like I feel like there's not going to be a beacon of like, this is the thing people want to hear and need to see for them to let themselves get excited.
No. I don't think they've ever like revealed Endgame for like a trailer or something before the game comes out. It's always hidden, for us to find ourselves.
Which I do like. I do enjoy that. I enjoy the little treat of the surprise of finding it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just hope they test it, make sure the weapons actually kill.
That would be a bar on the ground for Borderlands, I feel like. Test weapon, make sure weapon kill. Yeah, let's hope so.
Gun do damage.
I don't know how the Wanderlust bypassed Borderlands 2's testing, bro.
I literally had a charity redemption years ago to do a Wanderlust playthrough, and I've still yet to do it because I've never been able to get one to drop, and I am so grateful every day.
It's a pain to farm.
It's a pain to farm, they never appear, and I'm like, I don't want to do this run anyway because I know, and it luckily never drops. But I still try because I'm a woman of my word. But it is a choice. It is a choice.
Oh goodness.
It's a fun weapon on Krieg.
I just recently learned it could proc Bloodbath, and I'm like, it's got something there.
Yeah, I was doing Orc and Grog for drug effects and stacks, and then I was just spamming it. It was homing in and reprocking Bloodbath. I'm like, dude, this gun's stupid.
Yeah.
Very specific stupid, but like it's fun for 1% of the things you could do.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember you having a conversation on Twitter not too long ago. Gas, I don't think you chimed into it, but it was the melee damage and gun on 3.
Yeah, it was a hot take.
Yeah. Why so passionate about it is, I think, the thing, because I think everything I'm hearing is like people get so excited, like guns doing splash damage or different types of damage or things like that. Like, what specifically about it? Like, do you want to see just better, like a melee weapon option, kind of like Wonderlands kind of stuff, or is it like the bladed weapons, or is it just the idea of doing like a raw run?
It's just like the delivery of it. Like, think about like a samurai, sword fight. Then he pulls out a gun and kills this enemy. It's like, oh, that's not very, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Like the vibe of melee is a very specific playstyle, and like when you mix in a gun, it just takes away from that playstyle.
It's just gun build, but you're speccing different skills, pretty much.
Yeah.
And at that point, it doesn't feel like a different build. It just feels like you just put points in different places to do the same thing.
Yeah. Like, you can deliver range melee in a cool way. Like, for example, Zero throwing Kunai and the Stabbomancer spinning Ghost Blade. Like, you can make it feel melee. But when you pull out bullets and a gun, it's just like, it kills that playstyle.
And what would be an alternative other than it being gun that you want to see? Are you a melee weapon kind of person, or are you just wanting like kind of like how it's Zero with skills and having those kind of buffs with it?
Well, I just want to see melee evolve more, because I mean, if you're gonna have characters that have melee skills, or a whole entire melee tree, it's like, why can't we have an actual primary melee class?
Yeah.
But melee's always in the back, so they can be in a secondary, and it just feels off to me.
Yeah, I feel like if they do melee weapons again, those are going to be really weird to balance around, because I feel like if you don't have any melee skills, those are just kind of like a empty slot for you.
It's a filler.
But I guess I don't know. I guess I can't predict the balance, but like notoriously, the characters that have melee, like even just for mobbing, finishing off a mob, are melee characters. Like you can't. Even like level like 80 BL2, you can't really punch a bandit to death as like Maya or Axton.
Yeah.
Like that great. Like you can, but it's like tougher.
Yeah. I would like seeing like
melee
an attachment.
Should still be like a finishing off like I don't want to reload and they're like 2 health. I should just hit them. As for ways to deliver melee, I think thrown objects could be cool. Like kunai or like buzz axe throws. I didn't have too much issue with the fish slap as an idea. It being a fish was kind of weird, but like having like some type of throwing knife that causes like a debuff in a grenade slot doesn't sound too bad, and it still feels like melee, And it doesn't necessarily have to get full melee boost. It could be like it does 25% of your melee damage, but also staggers or poisons, And
they just have to make it feel like melee.
Yeah, a gun feels like a gun. A throwing knife feels like a throwing knife.
Yeah, blunt force objects, whatever.
Melee.
I wouldn't mind like if there's the ability to add like an attachment to a gun that was like, if you unlock this thing or this part of your tree, then like all your pistol, every one of your guns had this type of knife on it or something like that, where you could combine it so it wasn't a full slot potentially, but something that was like an enhancement on your weapon. I feel like that could be a happy middle ground to like be able to spec into it without needing to, build a whole thing that would just be something filler or like spot that people aren't using. Yeah. But speaking,
or you just like bash with the gun itself.
Yeah, just have it like kind of just like a bladed weapon thing, but just having like, hey, I have a buzz axe taped to this gun kind of thing with this skill that I have. So like every one of your slots or every third slot or something like that has it, so you can swap and do that without it being, an entirely new mechanic, and just adding it on to what you're doing. I think could maybe be a fun way to do it.
We were doing a Tidor Krieg challenge run one day, and it crossed my mind because a very specific scenario came up where I had a bladed Tidor weapon, and I chucked it at the enemy, and I'm like, dude, what if it did melee damage? It has a blade on it, like.
Yeah, I always think this should do more damage when I'm chucking it at somebody.
Yeah, it was just like a cool idea. I'm like, dude, there's a blade on my gun. I'm chucking it as a Tidor. Like, it's literally a throwing knife.
Honestly, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Going back to Fish Slap for a minute, for Revenge of the Cartels, I was like, what's the fucking word? I kept wanting to say Revenge of the Nerds. Same thing. Revenge of the Cartels. Do you like the event kind of options? Because I feel like when people talk about BL3 Endgame, I'm like, I feel we got a lot more of it than we did in 2, but it still doesn't feel like that to a lot of people. Are the event modes something you actually enjoy in those games?
Yeah, I mean, it's more content.
I really liked the wedding invitation when it came out. That was probably one of my favorite guns that I got to use when I was playing Flak. I thought it was kind of a bummer when the stuff disappeared, and then it's like, well, now you can't get, like Fear Annoyance. Well, they eventually released it, but you can't get Fear Annoyance. I remember seeing I think it was like a Jolt speedrun where I think it was like a max level speedrun, but he was still using like an OPQ system that was like 4 levels under or something like that because they're just so busted. And it's like, imagine if you could get on level 1 now with these, one of these.
I think it was level cap 65, and I was using the level 57 version of it because that's when we had the event.
Yeah.
So it would have been 8 levels under and still like
Yeah,
shredding.
and there's still like shredding. So I thought that was like kind of a bummer, but they did add them eventually, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I will say though, like the Halloween event, we got the whole different map, and the cartel event, we got the whole different map. I was a little bit bummed out for that Valentine's one. We didn't get like a extra map.
We didn't get a
just
whole
like the
map or
hearts.
nothing. Just the
Yeah,
hearts.
I would like to see more with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
But I mean, it's more content.
Yeah, more content. Stuff to toggle on and off.
Yeah, I like that they actually added them to the base game.
Yeah, I will say too, I did like the whole like different pathing for cartel, where it's like 1 of 3 paths for the mission.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's kind of like variety, and it's like more fun in my opinion to like play that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like imagine the Borderlands 2 headhunters if it's like, oh hey, instead of getting the 3 skeleton keys for that Halloween headhunter, it's like, oh, instead go over here and like pick up some brains, like something different.
Yeah. Bribe
really
the gatekeeper with brains.
Yeah.
Or sneak through the sewer.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That multiple options is pretty cool. And then depending on the character, the different routes could be different for better farms, and that goes back to your art of farming,
Mm-hmm. Although I didn't really care for the whole. Sorry, I just choked my water.
How dare you? How dare you?
Don't drink while talking. Anyways, I did like how, or sorry, I did not like how you had the RNG element of like getting the right boss for cartel. Like if you're trying to farm for like the yellow cake, for example, it's like, oh dang, I didn't get the guy for this pathing, and it just fell off. It's like, all right, reset. I don't know. I hope they don't do that. The RNG element of a rare spawn is not fun.
I do like the re-roll the mini boss though, like of the events. Like I feel like I don't know. I want to see. They feel like little pieces of the headhunters to me, yeah. And I think the headhunters are my favorite in BL2 because they do feel contained, but also for some reason just more grounded than the others to me. Like I like Torgs, I just don't get as much benefit out of it in the same way. And so I feel like it's a happy medium for me, but I know so many people who just like never tried them. But the excitement of seeing like new ones come out, like I kind of wish there were some that like didn't get added to the game that would keep coming, but the concept of having to keep those up for a while, like I just don't think realistically a non-live service game, like we're not doing battle pass, we're not doing things like how do you keep up that revenue to be able to keep dropping new events? But like I want to get spoiled by them. Like I would love them to do like annual Halloween event kind of stuff. And like give us new raid bosses, give us new pathing, give us new 1 or 2 drops, or kind of like how we did with BL2 where we suddenly make this thing farmable for a short amount of time if we're going to keep mission items. Like I want that kind of longevity for the game if we're going to keep adding in-game content like that, because it needs to find its balance between what we're expecting to keep getting updated and I think what is there and ready to go, because I still, it blows my mind when people are like, we stopped updating this game, there's so much to do. And like, well, what else are we wanting right now other than like completely different, mechanics than we have? And at what point do we pivot and go to the next game or put our resources into building this game? And so if BL4 is like the prom queen, if that's like the game we all move to, it has to have some of that support. And I feel like having something like that, like an annual built-in event, would be really fucking cool.
I will say though, kind of a fun fact, but like Borderlands 2 Headhunters did not have any dedicated farming at all, outside of the Thunderbolt Fist from Sparky Flint. But they all did not have like any, and it's like kind of a missed opportunity.
Pyrophobia from the Easter egg guy, but
that too. But like outside of that, all the bosses drop nothing.
Yeah, and there's like 50 bosses in the Wobble Gobbler DLC, or like named enemies, I guess.
Yeah.
It took me way too long to realize I was a Hunger Games fun the entire time.
Oh, really?
Wait, I just hadn't ever processed it. Everything literally, and I read Hunger Games when it came out, like it was the whole thing. And it was literally while I was streaming one day, I was like, oh, that is funny. That looks like a cornucopia. And then like moving on. And then I was like, yeah, that's trippy, whatever. And then the whole DLC just kind of hit me in the face. I'm like, how many times have I played through this and never clocked this once? Like it's the name of the mission. I'm an idiot.
I do wonder if like the whole, like holiday theme is holding back things in Borderlands, because like they're very, regional specific.
Yeah.
So like, not everybody celebrates Christmas, and not everybody celebrates Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're trying to branch out and like not do that. So that's kind of why we got the cartel.
Yeah, good question. Hmm.
I think we can definitely get both.
I
I know.
wouldn't mind less, holiday themed ones and just more like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, do you
I
know
mean,
how
something
rabid
cool.
I am for like the St. Patrick's Day skin that I never got from TPS that I will never find a shift code for in my life, kind of thing. Like those
Say
kind of.
better.
I
Yep,
know, but I
say
feel like it's
better.
cheating. I feel like it's cheating. I feel like it's cheating, and I want it so bad, and then it's there. I just like, oh god.
Hey, just give me your save file. I'll legit farm it. I'll legit
All
farm
good
it.
farming. Yeah.
Literally just I fucking just DM a save file one day. No, it just so many things like that where it's like years later I'm still like looking and like envious that I wasn't playing the game at this time to get it. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that there's like built-in stuff for that and it doesn't feel like and not even in a gatekeepy way, like because I genuinely want it, but it just feels like world building. It feels like this community is rich and we have that kind of just I don't even know. It just adds something to it that I feel like it's so easy not to add to it. And I love those little details in Borderlands. Like I love the little things we get. I love that we have the Iridium to get the weapon skins and cosmetics and stuff like that we don't need. I love the room decorations and all the stuff that is probably unnecessary for the game, but it did add just something more personal to it when we had the silent protagonist for so long. And I say silent generously, but like, yeah.
I mean, it would be cool if like cosmetics were more, I don't know, like
Appropriate for the setting.
involved in, like what if you had some really crazy shiny cosmetic lock behind raid boss or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how Gas was saying, like if you saw someone in like the one life skin, you would be like, oh shit, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
cool.
You got to make them recognizable too,
Yeah.
Like just be like the skin is, have a way for people to know like, oh shit, I think they did this or like, something like along those lines.
Well, it's kind of like
this skin.
Yeah, like Dead by Daylight will like give like random Twitch partners and stuff like that the Twitch cosmetics for their characters and stuff like that. I feel like those kind of like things, and not for content creators at that point specifically, just in general, like for specific, you did this thing, you get this, and or like a rare chance to get it.
Yeah, I just wish it were like more in theme. Like I don't know, you kill Mouthpiece and it's like, hey, I got Mouthpiece mask for a cosmetic, or
That would be
something
cool.
like that.
Yeah.
Like in Call of Duty, you like get 1,000 headshots and your calling card has like a hit marker like headshot icon. Like they theme everything, and it's like if they had themes to the cosmetics to what you're doing to get them, it'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think that'd be pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, I think a lot of Borderlands toes that line between like meta and not.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see the cosmetics also just tend to be more unique to the character. A lot of the BL3 cosmetics, I'm not sure if this is a hot take or not, but kind of felt like a little too crazy.
No, there are definitely, there are some
very
definite
shiny, and
Mimi.
it's like it's not necessarily the best like description, but it always just feels way too Fortnite-y and bright. I always think about like the one like skeleton skin that glows.
Yeah.
Or it's like a splatter, but it's like
black
super
with the glowing
bright
skeleton,
and hard on the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like all characters having like the same horse head option, all characters having the same, I don't like it that, I can not tell the character by just like looking at the head. I like keeping their like personality with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like one thing I loved is the whole like what would they call it? The alternate realities
those were good.
Yeah.
Those
like that was really cool. Like just changing the skin to be like, hey, we have a red skin and we have a blue one. It's like it's very easy and boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see like more of the like whatever that thing was called.
Yeah, the I don't even know what they're called, but
it's like an alternate reality skin or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would rather stuff like that than like the color box, like where you pick the like the hex code now for and little pieces of it. I don't need that much customization with it. Like I prefer like the ideas of it, like the AUs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean you don't really see it in first person, but when you're doing co-op, it's like very apparent.
Yeah,
or when you emote, or go in your inventory.
Yeah, especially because you're in the center of your HUD now, so it's like once you're using your echo, you see it all the time.
Yeah, which I hate that, by the way.
I don't know, I prefer
It's
to
like
Krieg just taking over everything where I can't see, where I have to turn Krieg to a wall and be like, get the fuck away from me.
Why is Krieg so big?
He's so large. He's like the cover of, have you seen the covers for the I think it's Absolute Batman or whatever it is, like the new DC series where he's just like so thick?
No.
That's, oh my god, I'm sending it to you. Oh my god, where's Thick Boy? Where's Thick Boy? Come here. There's a new series of DC comics coming out, and yeah, it's Absolute, like Superman, Absolute Batman and stuff, and it's like AU versions of them. Like if Bruce Wayne wasn't a billionaire and stuff.
I have seen this.
Look, I just sent it in the chat. Look how fucking thick this boy is.
What? But
oh my gosh,
it's not so small.
The largest man, and I'm like, that's what it feels like when I have to look at my menu when I'm playing Krieg. Like it feels like he's that large.
Pretty accurate.
Me trying to spec into the fire tree. Great.
Really? I'm like, just face the wall, leave me alone. Think about what you did. Get your thighs out of my way.
Joltz, do you want a BL2 remaster?
I mean, there are things that they could fix, but you know, on PC we can just argue, we can just mod it and make it the way we want it to be. But I feel like it's important for the majority, you know, the people who play on console to have the up to date experience, you know, modernize it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I understand, you know, like people don't trust Gearbox to get it right. You know, after the BL1 enhanced and Tina one shot, it like there is a lot in Borderlands 2 that needs to be up to date, like auto pickup, readjust some of the horrible drop rates. Like why is triple O a 1% spawn chance? There's a billion things, but you don't really think about it until you like stop to think about it.
Yeah,
I am surprised
you can make the game like a lot better.
I expect you to be against it, honestly, but I really won't win. Yeah, the console argument.
Like
I think it'd also be good for. I think it would be good for, especially on the content creation side. But you know, I am skeptical of seeing like the Borderlands 1.1, and I don't want them to mess up our baby. You know,
I feel like it was also so long ago. Here's the thing: the baby will still. No one's killing the baby if they get a new baby. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so the baby's still there. Krieg would kill a baby, but I no one will pull up Borderlands 2. But like the BL1 remaster was so long ago. Like I mean,
it's only 5 years.
But like it's still, we have come such a long way from like how we rebuild games from the ground up when we're like remastering them. Like it's something that we feel like studios are doing more frequently now than we were even just 5 years ago, like technology wise. And
stuff, I would be like kind of baffled.
Yeah. Like honestly, it was outsourced to, what is it, Blind Squirrel? Like, so Gearbox didn't have any like major part in like the Tina one-shot adventure and or no, what's that? No, Blind Squirrel was for the BL1 enhanced. Anyways, yeah, if they were to remake it, it would add a lot. And not to mention, like, so many things have already been figured out. Like, if they wanted to, they could literally use the modding community's work and maybe credit them or whatever. And dude, like, okay, how to word it? Like, they can make banger bucks off of such an easy project that would be widely received as a positive thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They can, if they did it right, they could.
And I'm kind of shocked they haven't taken that approach.
Yeah. I remember every Borderlands anniversary, we're like, oh.
Dude, the 10-year anniversary came around. I'm like, dude, come on. And it's like 10 golden keys. I'm like, oh.
Here's a shift code. Also, the stock is not on this volcano we're showing you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Goodness.
I guess they gave us explosive Norfleets and the Heartbreaker in TPS, but
that's about it.
Shift code for a grog would be crazy.
I beg for that on Twitter. I'm like, this is a very big reward that could bring a lot of people back to the game. Maybe because it's DLC.
Like if you're paywalling content at that point, even though it's on, dude, Borderlands 2 is on sale for like no money half the time, but especially now with Pandora's Box. But no, I could see that. I mean, I can't think of any game that's been remastered where I play the old version of it. And I say that not playing BL1, but like literally BioShock, the original I don't even sell anymore. Like it's only the remaster at that point because it was so broken. But like even Last of Us, the rebuild Until Dawn just came out today, and I absolutely am feral over that and doing that one. Like it very much, it's never a negative for me when something comes out. Like I've yet to play a modern one that feels like, oh, this lost its soul of its game, you know?
Yeah.
If anything, unnecessary money, but that's it.
I think it's best just to wait for like a Borderlands 2 remake.
Yeah.
Instead of like, a remastered. Like build it on a new engine, release it at a, what Borderlands 4 right around the corner. I doubt they would like ever take on that project anytime soon. But like during the dead time after Borderlands 4, they could maybe think about dropping that. But
like a Resident Evil 4 style remake where it's just like,
That's like, the standard, in my opinion, for a proper remake.
If they did that and finally gave me a Fall New Haven DLC, I'd be happy. That's all I want. All I want is a Fall New Haven DLC from any of the games.
The Coliseum, the Roxy Arena.
Yeah, just give me one that like is rich with the lore that you already have built in here that it would not need. I don't. So robbed. TPS robbed me so much when they got shut down. It makes me so sad. I will never be over it. But it's fine because we have Fight for Sanctuary, I guess. But fuck Hector. Hector sucks. I'm sorry. Hector is the worst boss of any. Like he's so boring.
He's got cool mechanics, but he's just tiny arena.
So
and, like,
boring.
I think he's not boring. He's just like you're in a small arena and you're just like health gated constantly.
Oh yeah.
There's too many enemies in a small dense space, and they didn't really like either think about it or they just want you to do grog gameplay for that.
It's annoying to me. Like, every time he talks, every single time he talks, I'm like, why you add nothing to this?
I like him. He has like a Nox vibe, like, all right.
Yeah.
I liked him.
I
like that he actually had a motive that wasn't, I'm going to eat the galaxy.
Yeah. He basically did. But yeah. No, yeah. That's fine. I think
we all have our own opinions.
No.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, we're gonna argue. We're gonna fight. That's what it is.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Boxing gloves are on.
Exactly. Dude, I haven't. Oh god, it's been a secret for so long, but I don't even care anymore. Whatever. The listening is exciting. I literally have been building a Unity engine with one of my friends in stream because of my Bloodwing challenges where they would just enrage me so much. It is like a Mortal Kombat version of me fighting Bloodwing outside a Waffle House with boxing gloves.
I love it.
And it like has like the fire, electricity, corrosion, like different things and like different power-ups and little things. And we literally have it like rigged right now where it's this massive fucking Bloodwing where I'm just making it impossible to beat. And it's just like the dumbest game, but it's so dumb fun. And I'm like, this is my Borderlands brain rot. Something that no one needed. That one of my friends was like, I drew this photo and now I want to rig a game. Are you in? I'm like, yes.
You should do the Family Guy chicken fight. Except it's you and Bloodwing.
Oh my god!
It's basically, yeah. It's so good. It's so funny right now though because I need to write some of the content for it and stuff like that. So when you open it up in the menus there, I have like cosmetics you can like win and stuff like that. But you open and music from Chicago is just playing because I just have filler music and it was the first one we put in and I forget every time. And now every time I battle Bloodwing, I just hear He Had It Coming in my head. I don't know why I hate that bird so much. I do. It's just become she's not even that bad. Not even that bad. But she is. Yeah. And she sucks.
It's flying enemies, so never fun.
It's just the glitches. Listen, I was an idiot when I started playing this game. I still am, but in a different way. Just like I did not know how important leveling was because if I almost killed her the first time, then that means I could kill her the second time. But why isn't it working again? And so the amount of time she would become resistant to stuff or then like not land or the skags would stop spawning. Yeah. And if you want to save quit out of it, you're all the way at the start of Wildlife or then you have to go through the double doors and the super badass again. And then the fucking stalkers. And there's so many things to get back to an ammo machine or go do something that if you run out of ammo in that fight, you're fucked. And you can run back so far, but it's just she glitches in so many ways that the other bosses don't for me, where I just want to pull my hair out.
Yeah, that's fair. I never thought about that. Like, no vendors before the boss, and it's an element check. And then if you want to, respec, or if you're like, new to the game, say, oh, I got to go change my build, and it's like you have to run the whole entire map again. It's like that's not very good design.
No, and that's part of the structure of the Bloodwing Towns being like, hey, like when you're first playing this game, there's a lot you don't know about it. So like you run in as under leveled as possible, like to get through it, and like you don't have your optimized stuff on it because like I will bar stuff like, hey, I can't use Heartbreaker at this point, and not that I'd even be on level for it at the time, but like things like that where it's realistically what would you have in your first playthrough? go through stuff like that, and it's always at the point where like I will be so close, under leveled still, to like killing her on the first try, and then one undodgeable attack or one glitch or one skag or something like that will just derail it, where you can never get back in the rhythm, and you're out of launchers. You don't have a lot of SDUs at that point. You haven't had this opportunity. The moment you're like, okay, I need to go get a different shield, or I need to respec, or she's bugged and I have to reload, then you suddenly have to do all of wildlife again. And that just seems so unforgiving to me. And part of that rage was the first time I was playing her, I was like, oh god, I'm clearly underleveled for this. Let me come back tomorrow. Let me figure out what I'm going to do. And when I realized I was at the start of the map again, I was like, what the fuck?
I think my worst experience ever with Bloodwing was Death Trap only. So I had to do that like weak shock beam on on Bloodwing. I found a way to glitch out of bounds and like hide and be safe. And it was like the slowest kill I've ever done ever. And I'm like, this is miserable.
Yeah.
It was on shock element, on shock phase.
Yeah. That phase probably fucking took forever. A lot of people ask me to do stuff like that where it's just like with only this action skill, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's for me. I don't know if I'd have fun doing that, because some of those action skills you're telling me are like a press button and wait type of deal.
Yeah, you gotta wait for all to cool down. It's like
yeah, and then it's like also sometimes it's a forget and or press and forget.
Like Death Trap, if you press it and you're just like you set them right, and then
yeah. I think I actually have a partially routed like path for face lock only, but then it just got really boring, and I'm like,
and then it caught XP farming and like
yeah. But you can put void damage on your face lock for enemies you can't pick up.
Oh yeah, that is a thing.
Or you do things like thought lock only, and then you face lock a skag, and then suddenly Bloodwing is diving the skags, and then you have the perfect opportunity, and it's amazing. Oh, I'm a thought lock truther. I will die till I don't care. It is the correct skill. It is the best. I love it. It just lets me be a little bit more of an idiot than I think other skills do.
Oh, there's thought lock jank. Do you know if it's just the bee noise doesn't go off, or if they actually don't take bee damage when they're thought locked?
They take bee damage. There's just a glitch with chain reaction. There's the noise stuff, and then there is a stack issue with, I think it's chain reaction and one of the others, where if you reload,
Cloud Kill doesn't.
Yeah, you
Cloud
get
Kill
the amp damage. Because I use it for bulwark farming for Lilith, or for Lilith, for Maya, and I'm like, hey, this is interesting, guys. There's no bee sound, but you can still like do the amp damage.
Yeah. I didn't even know B had a sound until I got my PS5, actually, because I never played with headphones. And so the first time I just loaded in, I had on the headphones, and I opened my HUD and I was like, what is that sound? Why is there like electricity sound? And I like realized more sounds in the game. Yeah.
Bag of pretzels.
Hell yeah. God, pretzels sound good. Food sounds good. But yeah, no, I had no idea. And so the first time I went off, I was like, what the fuck? And then it was only recently, because my girlfriend's more of a BL3 person and TPS person. I had said something one day in stream, and she's like, what is that sound? I was like, oh, that's just a bee. She's like, the bee makes a fucking sound? I'm like, yeah, that's like, it's a bee. Like, yeah. Like, if so many people don't know, because you just don't play. Yeah. It's amazing.
That's wild.
I know. So many things I still figure out. I will stare at the same thing for years and then realize, and it's humbling.
I remember in an old playthrough, we found a way to mod out the bee crunch sound, because like as a YouTuber, it's really annoying to like commentate over that.
Yeah.
So I had to always like lower my game audio and editing, and I'm like, I'm going to disable it this time around. And my comment section was like, bring it back. We need the crunch. I'm like, all right, I'll do it.
Well, that's like removing the crunch on board. I will say I do have to like mute or dramatically like hotkey my game audio when I'm doing Maya bunker farm, because that chain reaction conference call crunch just like will absolutely wreck your ears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, splitting audio is such a like godsend for editing.
Yeah,
it's like I have my audio separated, my commentary separated, my music separated, notifications separated.
Honestly, yeah.
So like for example, like Discord, if somebody's talking, I can just like cut myself out. Like right there, we both overlap. I can like cut myself out, or you cut yourself out, or whatever. It's just so nice as a YouTube like thing.
Yeah, for sure. But I love it. The moment I got to delete all my OBS settings for audio, because I just like went to like a mix where I could just control it all from a little thing, and I was like, oh my god, I don't need all these different sources and everything is still separate. It was, oh my God, best day of my life.
It's going to be a nightmare setting that up on the new PC again.
That's so exciting though.
I'm excited, but I'm like a little like annoyed that I have to like do all this stuff again with it. Or like transfer over everything. But it'll be worth it.
What are you upgrading
wasn't
to?
Someone hooking you up with a new PC?
Yeah, power GPU. I mean, I paid for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, hey, can I get a new PC? It's like, all right, what are you looking for? I'm like, what's the best?
Yeah.
Because I haven't upgraded in 5 years. Like, this PC is fine, but like it's not gonna run anything modern while streaming and while recording all on one PC.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, are you doing dual PC or are you just replacing?
I considered it, but like I just like the convenience of a one PC setup.
Yeah.
That's fair. If you're not doing face cam too, it's less like intensive, I guess. But yeah.
And then my current PC goes to a family member.
Oh, nice.
I just don't have it in me to like dissect and put together a PC.
That's entirely fair. This one was CLX. This one was pre-built at that point, but I've built a few with other people that my intention was to build one, and then I was like, it's just so much easier to buy something and then have a warranty.
Yeah. I don't trust myself, but I trust you. Can you build it?
Yeah. Honestly, I trust me with other people's PCs more than my own. Like, I was really confident building other people's. My own would terrified me.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, my first PC that I bought a long time ago, I was changing out the RAM sticks, and I was like, okay, I was talking to my brother, and I'm like, yo, what do I do? And he's like, just pull out the RAM cards, put in the new ones. I'm like, that easy? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I rip it out, and I see all these wires flinging out of the RAM stick. I'm like, that's not good. And then I told my brother, and he's like, did you pull up the clips? I'm like, you didn't tell me about that. And so I destroyed my RAM card, and I destroyed my motherboard doing that.
Oh, that's so sad.
I'm traumatized.
I know. I remember putting together like processor and stuff like that, where it's just like different things you have to put in. Where there's like, it's gonna feel like you're breaking it. You're not, just push it in. I'm like, that's horrifying. That is like, I feel like this is too expensive of a piece to be like, just yeah, make sure it's in, but like don't overdo it. But like you're gonna feel like you're breaking it, and it'll be fine. I'm like,
yeah,
too vague, too vague instructions on something too important.
Yeah, like I don't like I'd be comfortable like taking a class or something to learn how to build a PC instead of looking online and hoping I do things right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I always have a buddy help me if I'm doing anything because I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
Joltz, do you also call your friends buddies?
Buddies? Not a word I use often.
I feel like
I'm more of a like, yo, what's up, bro? Or dude.
Bro, dude, that's fine. Like, it's men when they refer to their friends. I've asked Gas about this before, but just like, they're like, yeah, a buddy of mine. It is such a common thing. And I can't think of an equivalent for what I hear like women do. And it's so.
One of my homies.
My homie.
Yeah, one of my homies.
I mean, I do say that like one of my buddies. I think it's more of a just echo chamber from watching so much like what is it? Pawn Stars. I'm gonna call a buddy of mine. I don't know. I feel like it just kind of stuck with me. Yeah. Like subconsciously, I just use that word.
Such a specific
I think homies stuck with me because this one Adventure Time episode, they kept saying homies help homies, and I think that just stuck with me. And I started calling people homies. So
I love that. That's pure. I like that.
Pure and wholesome.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just always said dude, and like even in my videos, I'm like, dude, are you serious? You know,
no,
like it's just like my filler word.
No, I mean, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
how
like,
do you feel if someone calls you bud?
Bud? I feel like it's more of an insult.
I mean, yeah, if I call someone bud, it's joking, but it's a little
like,
condescending joke.
There's
I'll be like, okay, bud.
In our brains that just hates being called bud.
I can tell one of my favorite things, just like things like big guy or like things like that. Like there are certain phrases that I see men just go like, oh, at the word of it, and bud is definitely one of them. Kiddo,
like
is
if
usually
my dad calls me bud, I'm
little
good.
bro.
If someone that's like 50
champ is a big
bud,
one.
I'm good. If someone like my age or younger calls me bud, I'm mean mugging them. I'm like,
oh yeah, no.
I feel like okay, bud. It's like the early stage of a flower, so it sounds like they're calling you a lesser,
like a
term in a way, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, huh?
See, I just think it's like, I don't know. It's champ and bud are two big ones that like, yeah, they're always like, okay, champ. They're like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, yeah, whatever, broski.
Yeah. No, I even call like my girlfriend bro. Like if we're excited about something, we're like, dude, did you see this? And be like, bro, no, for real though. Like that's just a wonderful inclusive word, bro.
Yeah. Not to mention it's like a one syllable word, like bro, dude. It's just like a quick one and done thing. I don't know. I will say though, like the whole playthrough dynamic, I love doing it, but like there is a demand for, all the information in one video kind of content, like what you do, Gas. But like for me, I would go insane only posting like once a month, Like I feel like I have to post like 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah, I feel you. I was curious on how often, how many hours a week do you put in?
5
like editing
streams.
wise.
Oh, editing? It's half the time the stream is, so that would be 5 streams and then 20 hours, so 10 hours of editing total.
Oh dang, you're pretty efficient with it then. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I got hotkeys for
markers?
like, snapping everything around. No. I skim through, look for the visual parts, or look for audio spikes where I'm like, or whatever. I can see my, I'm very familiar with the way the wavelengths are in the audio bar to know what's happening or what I'm saying.
That's kind of cool. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I was curious. I was like, dang, he must be efficient with it to get like 5 out. Yeah, my motivation is up and down sometimes. So I mean,
it's tough when it comes to like what you do. Like pushing a very, very difficult, very original run. It's like it's tough in today's day and age. Like a lot's been done.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had people tell me like to do like you should do a challenge run of this and that. I'm like, it sounds grindy or like not fun or very slow paced for me.
Yeah, there's sometimes people would be like, I'm like, that sounds like a Jolts run, or that sounds like a Spuddy Cube run, or that sounds like a Mick run. I just feel like there's certain like things that I'm like, nah, I wouldn't enjoy that, but I think they would.
Yeah. Like some people are like, you should do a fire element only run. It's like, okay, drop is a 1 in 10, rolling specifically fire 1 in 16. So 160 runs to get a 1 fire weapon, and if each runs, let's be generous and say a minute. I'm spending 2 hours or over 2 hours to getting 1 item. Like that video flow would be awful to post as a daily series.
Yeah, it's gotta have good flow for like a daily series like that.
Yeah, like I'm kind of pressured, which kind of sucks to like get a lot done per episode. So I can't really spend time and like do the very, very grindy stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I would like to, but it's like, I would just not have much, meat in this episode if I do that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like you said, you should get to OP10 and like, try or reform all the weapons and do this. And I was like, that's an extra like 7 days on the series. And, it's already like when you do a daily series, like back to back to back, day 1 does the best, day 2 drop off, day 3 drop off.
It drops off.
And then once you get to like day 10, it's like, I need to start a new run. I can't push another 7 days of this. Otherwise, as a content creator, it's not efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to do a run for fun, but I also have to, like,
it's your job.
Right content.
It's your job.
You gotta find like a middle ground for it. Yeah.
I think collectively we just need to start ignoring the OP levels. I think just in runs, we all just decide they don't exist anymore. We never have to get to OP10 again. We all just stop at like 5.
Grind anyway.
Exactly, it's fine.
I mean, there's an appeal. I mean, Gas, but like people like to see you suffer or like, be overwhelmed or
that is
like,
my entire brand. Yeah.
It's like, thank goodness that's not me as a viewer. It's just like
it makes people feel better in the game to see me be bad at the game.
Sometimes the comments I get are so good. They're like, "Why do you hate yourself?" and stuff. I just want people to know, like, I genuinely enjoy the challenge I go through. If I was not having fun, I would not be doing it, and I promise everybody that. And I've been through some like fucking tough stuff and stuff, but it's always worth it in the end because it's just super satisfying for me.
What about the Dexy kill? With the chopper?
That was fucking worth it, dude.
You think so?
I killed Dexy with a chopper. Who else has done that?
That's fair. I saw by the stream and you were like, you look like you wanted to.
I did. I was in so much pain, but it was all worth it in the end. Because that was a wild chopper too. I think the accuracy was like 1.
Yeah, you get less accuracy.
Yeah.
The fact that he glitched out is like. Bruh.
The amount of times, dude, this game is so cursed. The amount of times the savages just stole the kill, and I was just like so confused. Shout out to Dusty for letting me know what happened there because I had no idea.
Yeah, it's kind of like it makes sense, but we just never connected that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, enemies do health gate you with a grenade, so I wonder how much damage it's actually doing.
Yeah. I just got like crazy grenade damage boost multipliers. Or something, I don't know.
Because I used to think, like, when I see these random videos on YouTube about Dexy having a heart attack and dying, I'm like, it must be, his body getting stuck in the terrain and hitting a death wall.
Yeah, right.
But turns out,
like
no.
that. But yeah, it's always fun for me. If I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't be doing it. And I always say it like it sounds greedy, but that fight was for me because I am a stubborn asshole and I wanted to get it done.
No, yeah, at that point,
I could feel good.
Yeah, you absolutely at that point, it's for you, and it's allowed to be for you. But I 100% get it. I just have to do it for me sometimes.
I mean, I've had some moments where I'm like, okay, I should probably move on, and I could tell the chat's like, all right, you should move on, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, I'm gonna keep doing this because I want to get this.
Yeah,
like, you already have a matching grip. And it's like, no, I want to get a good prefix too. It's like, nah,
you got to balance between,
Yeah, the amount of time chat is like, you can't
want.
gamble. You're not allowed to go gambling. I'm like, I know, because this is what I do. I'm like, no, we're so close to breaking even. Let's go. Just gotta get back to even.
Yeah, I've had the comments here. It's like, dude, you're in normal mode. You're way over farming. It's complete overkill. I'm like, this is fun though.
Yeah, sometimes it's just chill to like farm. I like part of the routing where it's like, you do some content and then you have time to like, mentally break doing some farming and then it's a back and forth, and I like the back and forth often. It sucks when a farm goes on for too long, but that's just part of it. That's just part of it.
It just makes the reward
I think
better.
the worst part is when you know the odds and you're like getting super unlucky.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the 1 in 10. I'm on run 25.
I went like 42 runs into my B shield and I got like a terrible one on my.
Me trying to get a fastball to drop sometimes where I'm like, there is no reason this should be taking this long.
I think that was my worst farm ever. It was like 64 runs or something for a fastball, one. And I'm like, all right, somebody do the math on this. How rare is it to not get a fastball for this many runs?
I feel like
it was like 0.0 something. It was stupid.
Oh my gosh, the one life I'm working on right now, normal mode, I get my Herald at like level 10 or whatever it is, and it's like the terrible parts, Hyperion Grip and the stupid Tediore site that I hate, the Among Us site or whatever.
Oh,
right.
No, so that's for bandit launchers. Or that's for the bandit site on launchers.
Oh no, I just don't like it because it's big.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because it's big and ugly and it's goofy and it looks like an Among Us character from the side. But so I was like, Hyperion Grip Among Us, whatever. So I use it and I get the TVHM. Same thing dropped. No. Hyperion Grip Tediore site. I'm like, oh, what is this, dude? And I just use it anyway because I'm like, whatever. I beat TVHM, get a third one at level 50, because TVHM scales, Hyperion Grip, Tediore site. And I guess I'll use it and I'll just get another one in a few levels.
Cursed.
I get one in UVHM, and I kid you not, Hyperion Grip, Tediore site.
The game loves
and I was like, no,
You pissed off Daddy Gearbox, something happened.
I'm sleep deprived, and we looked up the odds, and it was like a 1 in like 17 million to roll the like same part in grip 4 times in a row, and I was like, what is going on?
It's funny because like we know it would function fine, but it's just knowing that we got the worst parts, even though it would work, it just feels bad.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, but imagine how much nicer this would be with the right one.
I think
I don't know about you, but sometimes I could feel the reload speed on like non-matching grip things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially like normal mode. I'm like, what is?
I think it was Ultimate 0 I was doing, and like this time around, I just said, you know what? Let's not farm for like very perfect parts. Just worry about the element, and that's it. And like I still did all the content at OP10 fine, and I show people like you do not need like perfect parts or anything. Like it's a common misconception. But we just want it, that's all. But this time around, I'm like, you know what? Just take what you get. We'll use it.
Mm-hmm.
and it worked fine.
Yeah, parts are very a lot more times. How am I wording this? How do I word this? It's not as often as you think that parts are super important for a thing. It's usually just element and sometimes prefix.
Yeah.
But they're pretty when
That's
they
someone
bad.
coming
Like
into
the
the
one.
chat the other day asking about like, oh, I got to get the right stock though. I'm like, don't worry about the stock. Just don't worry about the stock. That's such a minuscule thing.
I only do it for snipers.
Yeah, because Jacob's stock is like, ugh.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
even like an orphan maker with Jacob's stock is like gross, but
yeah, we did the terrible OP10 Bora with Zero, and I was using I think it was a non-prefixed Pimpernel to pull off the kill, and I'm like, it works, guys, but you don't need perfect parts, but it does help, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to be not stubborn and go for it every time.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I try to be not stubborn, I just end up getting more stubborn. Like I just double down on it because I make a point about it.
Be stubborn.
Yeah, it's like no, I'm gonna farm 10 times. I'm gonna roll it 10 times, and if it doesn't happen, then we're moving on. And then I can't because then it's one more time, and then it's that, or then it's almost the right part I need, or almost right prefix, or it's the wrong element or something. I'm just like, well, you just one more, and it never ends.
Yeah, it's always
That's
funny.
fair.
Sometimes in chat, like if like during the Dexy fight, everyone was telling me to use like the accurate chopper, but every time someone told me to use a more accurate chopper, it got me farther away from using the more accurate chopper, just because my stubbornness was going like crazy. Like, nah, I want to do it with this one because it'd be better for my brain energy or whatever.
Me when I want a Hyperion grip on fucking pistols, like I just like I'm like you don't need it. It's fine. I'm like no, but it's that I know that's the right one. It's the one I want, and I need it.
One more.
One more.
Yeah, exactly. It's all fine.
No, move on. No, one more.
No, yeah. Uno mas every time.
I was doing Molly on Axton and I needed one more piece of gear for the last peak run to OP10, and it was the Lil Eevee. And since it's just, such an on-level free farm, I was like, I'm going to go for a matching grip just because I can. And I think it was like probably my 30-something one. I finally got a matching grip farming that thing. It took way too long. I was like, one of these probably could have worked, but...
Yeah. I think I remember doing Metal One Zero, and I was trying to get matching grip on that too. And I'm like, all right, you know what? There's 8 different grips. We could be here for another hour. I'm just going to take my whatever I got here and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes, to move on.
Me with the Pimpernel every time. I will convince myself I can just walk away.
Yeah, I mean, sniper farms aren't that bad due to, only having 5 rollable parts for the grip.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4 elements.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like that one just will end up. That one specifically.
Thank goodness pistols don't have stocks.
Yeah, that would suck. But they have 8 grips. Yay!
Yeah.
The most. Yeah, we were farming the Infinity.
Manufacturer has a pistol, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we were farming the Infinity, the perfect Infinity, for one day, and it's a 1 in 11,000 chance for the perfect roll.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, why is this so rare? And it's like, well, the Infinity is one of the few legendaries in the game that doesn't have a guaranteed prefix on drop.
Prefix, yeah.
So
who are you farming for that? I was there for a second before I had to go. Does the Corporal and Giraffe DLC actually drop the gun he's holding?
Only if it's the Infinity.
Really?
That's so
didn't
specific.
know that.
1 in 8 chance.
That's crazy. And does he drop the one he's holding?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So if he's holding it, if you see him holding an Infinity, then you can kill him and get it. So we saw in his hands, oh, dude, he's got a Corrosion Infinity. This could be it. I couldn't see the grip because his hand's over it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking all right, we have a chance. Because people kept asking why are you safe quitting without killing him? I'm like, I'm looking at his hand. He's not holding it. So
yeah.
But yeah, you can I think I pulled him over at the Singularity just to stun him and do a quick check.
Yeah. Cool optimal farm.
Yeah.
Look at you being efficient.
That's the thing when it comes to farming. You want to farm the most efficient you can, any time save, especially when you're farming a really, really rare drop. It's you want to how optimize it the best you can.
Yeah.
Like the bunker farming, it's like, all right, Fable Tortoise movement speed, boar, good, like really good weapon for boar, and like, you know, like most people farm the 94 sham on zero. Like I don't even know if I've seen a like what is it, Maya or like Salvador getting a 94 sham or something, or Krieg.
My Maya got a 94 sham.
Oh, brother.
Oh, you were playing Maya. That's right.
I was playing Maya. Yeah, my baby girl.
You might be like one of the only recorded bits of footage out there for Maya.
Yeah.
Iconic. And also when my mic sucked that day, like everything was mid-transition. It was such a bad day to be recording. I look awful. Mic's awful. But the history was made.
Who was it? Gage HC. He was doing a one life. It might have been Gage. And on the story kill, he got a 94 sham on a one life. And I'm like, that's
iconic. That is.
Yeah. It's up there.
Wild.
That should go in a Borderlands history book, like a world's record thing. That is insane.
Yeah. It'd be cool to like find all the crazy clips out there and make a montage of all the craziest moments ever. But I don't even know like where to start for that.
Someone should do that. I don't know who, but someone should do that. That would be fun.
Yeah. I think my craziest was I don't know if it's the craziest or not, but like I was what was it? Launcher Salvador. I was farming the Nukem from Black Queen, and a spider ant randomly shot a pile. Like right when I was about to
save and didn't you get like an Avenger from it?
Yeah, an Avenger Pearl popped out of it. I'm like, dude, if that spider ant didn't shoot that pile, I wouldn't have got that.
My craziest thing has to be when I was doing the Tulane run. When I was running through Frostburn Canyon, I had 3 tubby encounters.
Oh, that's pretty rare.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, what the heck? I had one in the cave and then one right before like where Clayton's area is. There was 2. I was like, what the? How did I get 3 in one like go through of here?
Did they actually drop things?
I don't even remember what they dropped.
Right.
I do remember during bunker farming for the 94 sham, we found 2 bunker SMGs from the nozzle. So it would have been wool drop. I'm like, yo, we got the dedicated as a wool drop. That's crazy.
The other day, Hector Hodunk, while he was XP farming, he dropped a practicable fire conference call.
Oh wow.
And I was like, what?
You're not supposed to be here.
I was like, yeah, you're not the warrior. You are not the warrior.
Yeah,
write him up.
Farming the perfect Maggie for the quest for perfection. And I think we got 4 wool drops during that. Yeah. We got the Unforgiven, we got the perfect fastball from him too. And then
dude,
like some other stuff.
That and I was laughing so hard because like that's the wrong Jacob's revolver, bro.
Yeah, I was like so confused. I'm like, wait a minute. Dude, Borderlands gives you some crazy moments, and I love it.
Yeah. Craziest?
Yeah. Oh, 94 what's your craziest moment?
94. I mean, like, there have been things like the run after the 94 sham, like the next time I loaded up the game, I was like running through on accident, and it was story mode, and we were at bunker, and it had the double drop of it wasn't a 94, but a sham and the bitch. And it was just funny at that point, because it was just like, I walked near bunker, and she would throw sham set out for a bit. But no, I think it's definitely... Finding like the top Nia in wildlife underleveled was a gift. That was one of those like
it's gotta feel good.
Yeah, like it was very just again one of those you're not supposed to be here kind of moments. like level 13, 15, however underleveled I was at the time, just sitting there going like this is truly a gift from God right now. But yeah, no,
I still want to know if you can get I don't think you could get pearls in vendors. I could be wrong.
I've never seen
I just
one.
want to. You can or can't? Sorry.
You cannot.
Can you get the one elemental-less Hyperion pistol that's E-Tech?
Yeah, I found it for my vendor farming series.
Oh, you found it? Dude, I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I want to see an E-Tech in
it was item of the day, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Another crazy drop I remembered was I was getting the core for Sanctuary at 3 Horns Divide. And I don't know if I killed that psycho that drops the core, or if it was the one behind it. Because you can kill the enemies so fast before they even come out the door.
Yeah.
And I had the core pop out, and I had a Bearcat pop out on that same like instance of damage. And I'm like,
what the heck?
Yeah.
A Bearcat out of nowhere.
That
it was
really
like
too.
the Pearlescent core, and then Pearlescent Bearcat. It was like 2 Pearlescents technically, kind of.
I remember Gasp, you made the whole chart for the OP level health region.
Or the damage reduction?
Yeah, the damage reduction, yeah. I shared that
chart
at one point because, yeah, people were asking about it. I'm like, I have an answer to that because Gaz actually has a very informative infographic on it.
Yeah, I wish the game told you stuff like this. I didn't know that just by purely being under level, you deal less damage to enemies. I thought you dealt less damage to enemies because you were under level. Like, I realized those two things probably sound the same, but yeah, I didn't realize you were only doing like the third of the damage that's like listed on your stuff at like OP10. I was like, what? That's wild.
Isn't the maximum like damage reduction in a game 99.2%? Like no enemy can go like beyond that.
Think so. It's either that or that's what Iron God has when you're at
that's what I
OP10.
remembered about it. I do know that if you, I can't remember the OP level, but if you were to make Bunker OP 255, then if you do a boar, he just cannot die because his HP is literally infinity. There's some level like where they actually just round up to like be infinite.
That is wild.
Game's broken.
How if OP levels kept going, how far do you think someone could go?
Salvador shenanigans. Okay, Creek cannot chain a good blood explosion at the start anymore, so he would never get anywhere. Maya could do a dual kinetic reflection, like insta-kill on anything, so that could be something. But yeah, Salvador, like, for easiness, Salvador could probably push, I don't know, OP... I mean, I did OP 55 with Salvador on Wilhelm or something. So it'd be beyond that, I think.
Okay.
Chaos Chamber 100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Chaos Chamber 100, oh no. Oh no.
I'm just shocked they added more after OP8.
Yeah, it's like they added... Oh, I thought you were talking about chaos levels. That too, but...
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy thing to add for them, like, push up number, and then, like, hey, maybe people will play the game more.
Yeah.
But it's such a lazy, like, thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah. From what it sounds like the OP8 days had more, like, build diversity, and it wasn't, like, an OP10 slog when then the raid bosses weren't, like, out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, there were still, like, hyper-specific builds you had to do to, like, realistically farm at good speed. Yeah. And solo. But, I mean, theoretically, you could, like, solo with all this, like, wacky random stuff, but it'd just be slow. I don't know. And I will say the argument of, like, yo, you need the B-Shield for endgame, that's only, what, 2 characters?
Yeah.
Like, Axton needs it, Maya needs it. And then, Creek is doing melee or whatever, bloodbath, so you don't need to be. Yeah. Salvador doesn't need to be. He's Rough Rider kind of guy. Yeah. And then...
Zero,
yeah, critical ascension, you don't need to be, or do melee.
Gage is just anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically Gage anarchy. And technically Axton could do orc stuff just to not used to be stuff, but yeah, I would argue Maya and Axton are like the only two that you really need to be on.
Yeah.
But you need to know how to build like very well with them to not used to be.
How do you feel when people say you need Slag and Moxie for UVHM?
For regular UVHM, I mean, if you know the game well, you don't. But yeah, the average Joe probably would need it.
I always have mixed reception because I was like, I'm probably being biased because I've played for a long time, but like I disagree.
I don't feel like you need Moxie. I feel like if you're choosing one or the other, like use Slag over Moxie weapons, but like I don't think it's I don't.
It's
I don't
definitely a lot tougher without it, especially like if we're talking OP levels and stuff.
Yeah, I think that Mopioid did a White Rarity Salvador run and got to OP10. Oh no, he would use Slide though. Never mind.
No, he did Jacob Salvador to OP10.
Oh yeah, that would have been
which was so no slag. Yeah. He and also, I believe, did a peasant run or just a White Rarity run as Zero, and he got to OP4 before Turret Peak was just unfun to do.
Yeah, critical ascension.
Yeah.
I think Kai, he did up to OP 6 or 7 with OP 0 white rarity gear on 0.
Yo.
Critical Ascension, dumb, man.
That is
Yeah.
bad shit.
Like, it's theoretically doable, but like it's such a grind that he just, I don't think, wanted to push through it.
Yeah, no.
Excuse me.
No. Okay.
I think I have a character, a white rarity like Salvador, that uses the health gate healing and deputy build with the coach gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun build, but it's just like, yeah, I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. I'm Speaking Lion. This was DLC Required. We'll see you next time. Links in the description if you want to find info on Joltz, GasMask, the podcast, anything else. Also, let us know who you want to see on next. We got some exciting things coming up. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.